Let me know when we are live.
Yeah, we are live now.
Okay, good.
All right. Welcome everyone. Welcome to DCL Primetime. I know we've been missing for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, we had some scheduling conflicts as well as people not feeling too good. Due to some illness and weather. So we apologize for not being there. I know a lot of people look forward to the show and hearing our analysis and hearing about all the issues that are going on in DCL. So we'll try to catch up a lot in this week's show, and we have quite a few games to cover as well. So let's get on today's games. We'll start off with Division 2, and we're going to start off with Michigan Mavericks versus Racha Riders. This game, again, the reason we're covering this game is essentially this is a game between two equal weights, as which you just mentioned in the pregame show. Between two bottom riders, both the teams haven't really have had a great season to remember. But this game would be special because they were playing against each other. Both were bottom ranked teams. Racha Riders, I'm personally very surprised because I think they had a great season last year, 2024, and they had quite a few good players that I was looking forward to, and I always thought that they would build up on this team that they were forming. Amar, I know, is very active in the group, and I felt like they didn't really do justice this time around, losing quite a few games, and it looks like they're going to definitely miss out on the playoffs. But this game, again, I think Racha Riders got quite a few handy contributions from their batsmen, which posted that 130 runs total, blessed by the 20 extras which Michigan Mavericks gave them as well. That boosted the score to put them at a very comfortable position. But I think Mavericks also, to their credit, played and gave a run for the money for Mavericks up until the middle order, but the late order couldn't support the middle order, and
Mm.
they ended up losing with a comfortable margin of 32 runs. So a very welcome win for Racha Riders. A win is a win nevertheless, even if it comes late in the season. It probably doesn't help their chances for playoffs, but it's definitely things on the right track for Racha Riders. Yes, Viju, over to you.
Yeah, if you ask me, Parthiv, Racha Riders had the highest score of the season, fourth 100 plus score.
Hmm.
That tells me that Racha Riders have some serious batting talent. Six of these Racha Riders were in double figures in this game. Navneethan 22, 20 out of 26, Amar 10 out of 17, Anwar 13 out of 16, Konda 16 out of 24, Suhas 20 out of 20, and Bipin 16 of 11. If you ask me, 130 is a fabulous score, and sure enough, they defended that. Anwar had fantastic figures, 3.2 overs, 16 runs and 3 wickets. And then Zohaib had 4 overs, 1 maiden, 13 and 3. And they did some serious riding at the Maverick expense. Now, with 11 games to go, Parthiv, neither Racha Riders nor Mavericks will qualify. But at the end of the day, they have something to build on. All right. So that's the good thing, is that there is something to build on. I think Racha Riders at least a very sportive team, and I think their leadership and their management is good, and they're very active in many activities and things like that. So I can only wish both of them best of luck, because I think with only one game to go, they are not making the playoffs, and so they're going to be just watching the proceedings in Division Two and in Division One. But
Yep.
I think they have something to build on. Now, the question for the management to decide is, how do we build upon what we have? Because if you're saying that last year too they had a good team, now, if
Mhm.
you're now the question is, how do we go from point A to point B? And that's something which the management has to figure out, is how can we improve upon our performance? But again, I think better late than never. They've come to this point, and in the 11th game of the season, Racha Riders put one over the Mavericks in fine fashion. So congrats to Amar and Anwar and the rest of Russia Riders on this win. At least they have something to build on. And then with one game to go, come and play the best and hope for the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully, they can come back and keep building their squad. The next game we're going to talk about is the Warriors, the Gujarat Warriors versus the Detroit Eagles. Now, this was a game that took me for surprise for sure. I was expecting a comfortable victory for Gujarat Warriors. Gujarat Warriors have been, probably one of the top teams along with Scorpions in Division Two. Last year, too, they were semi-finalist, missed out on getting to Division One, loss in the playoffs. But very surprising that they were taken that close by Detroit Eagles. Now, Detroit Eagles, if you look at the points table, they are right at the bottom of Group B, and they have got 2 wins, but there's hardly anything that they have to really be excited about this season. Uh, Considering that it's their first season, the 2 wins will be handy. But I wasn't expecting them to really challenge Gujarat Warriors, and I'm pretty sure Gujarat Warriors, after they posted that 149, and if you look at their scorecard, pretty much everybody had a good start, a good contribution with the bat. Yes, they probably lost a few wickets towards the end, but I think they had enough runs. Again, boosted by 25 extras, and that score of 149, stood tall. And I'm pretty sure at the innings break, Warriors thought that they had the game in their hand, but little did they know that Chandan Reddy, Mali, and Sanjay Patil would be challenging that total, and they did give a real scare at the start with that opening partnership. 40 odd without losing a wicket in the first 10 overs. I'm pretty sure that would have made Gujarat Warriors a little worried. They got wickets in a heap. Once they got a few wickets, they got two or three in succession. Then a little partnership between Venkat and Praneeth, and then towards the end there wasn't much support. The runouts obviously didn't help, but the Gujarat Warriors, I think, would be pretty relieved at the end of the day to win this game by the narrow margin of 12 runs. And Detroit Eagles, on the other hand, I think they would be very pleased that they were able to challenge one of the top teams in their division. All in all, I think good win for Gujarat Warriors, but pretty close for their comfort.
Parthiv, do you know why Salman Sarazai is not playing? I know that he was involved in I don't know, grabbing an umpire by the collar. I
Yeah.
thought he
He's-
grabbed Tejas, I think was the umpire. He grabbed him by the collar or something. I thought that's what our friend KK mentioned. If he was here, I would have asked him that question.
yeah.
Okay, but and then I think in one of our shows only is where KK said that he was suspended for 4 games or
Correct.
3 games or whatever it is. But I thought that suspension should have run out. I have not seen him play any more games after that. That's why I
Mhm.
asked the question. Do you know if the suspension is over or what the deal is?
I thought it was a 1 game suspension. I'm not sure of 2 or 3 game suspension. Again, uh, if only a captain or somebody who's actually listening to the show might be able to help us with this, because I don't know what the exact verdict was, but I know there was a suspension handed
But you
down.
know what? The committee is doing a crappy job on this one. In the past, remember, Parthiv, if there is an official suspension or any official decision which comes
Yes.
up, you put out the official complaint in public, and so also the verdict in public, because there
Yep.
has to be transparency. You can't do things behind the scenes and try to cover things up, because that's when all these people start feeling, oh, you're covering things up. I am not sure why these things are not this has to be disseminated publicly, because there is nothing to hide here, because whatever has happened, and this is what it is, and it puts everybody on notice that this is how we deal things, and we do deal things in a transparent manner. But anyway, since you and I do not know anything more about it, well, we kind of have to go by whatever we heard from KK. But coming to this game, Parthiv, Gujarat Warriors, 7 of them were in double figures. And out of that, Kevin Patel, 28 out of 34, and Chintan Patel, 27 out of 25. They were the two guys who stood out for me. But for Detroit Eagles, Praneeth Kasula, he's the wicket keeper. Well, that's what the scorecard at least says. And he had fabulous figures, 5 overs, 27 runs, and 4 wickets. And they have a guy by the name of Pavan Wanam, I guess. He, um, he,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing him here, but anyway, he had 5 overs, 34 runs, and 3 wickets. But the problem here is this is the second game in a row, and surprisingly, I think we have 2 games involving Detroit Eagles. But anyway, both those games he has gone for runs, and that's what I noticed. But for the second game in a row, if you ask me, Chandan Mali absolutely has been feasting with the bat. In this game, he was run out 44 out of 60 balls. What a player, Parthiv. I mean, he's been playing real lights out cricket for Detroit Eagles. He has been putting them up on his shoulder and carrying them. And in this game, he had good support from Venkat Kondeti, 11 out of 9 balls, and Sanjay Patil, 21 out of 33 balls. But I think the Warrior bowlers, led by Viral Naivedya and Chintan Patel, they both were the outstanding bowlers there. But I thought the Eagles put in a very good fight. They played
Yep.
fabulous cricket in this game. It was a fabulous game from the Eagles, and they gave a real fight to the Warriors. That's what I felt. The same thing which you felt, which, well, this is a top ranked Gujarat Warriors who are number 3 in the seedings, and Detroit Eagles are number 12. And you do not expect a fight in this game. You
Yep.
expect. You expect Eagles to fold over, but when you look at the scorecard, it says that the Warriors found to their utter dismay that these Eagles are feisty Eagles, and they fight real hard, and they are way better than what their number 12 seeding is advertising, and that's what we found out. And well, anyway, the good thing is Gujarat Warriors won the game. Detroit Eagles almost pulled off a shocker of an upset. So, congrats to Detroit Eagles for putting up a good fight. And Gujarat Warriors, well, maybe this year they can do one better than what they did last year.
Yep. Yeah, they're definitely in playoff contention and pretty much guaranteed, I would feel. So this result definitely puts them a place or two behind, but still safe in terms of going into the playoffs. So I think the rankings will start getting a little more clear in the next week or so as to the positions of the different teams in the different divisions and groups, and we can then start to look at potential head-to-head pre-quarterfinals. But the next game, I think, our next game was awfully close. Another one where I think our analyst favorite, FCC Agni, ever since Gabaji has, given us a spiel about FCC Agni, us not choosing FCC Agni over other teams, we've all started to become FCC Agni fans. And
You watch
this
it.
was,
Gaba will never again give pointers to any of us anymore. All right, let me tell you that.
well, that was a free tip from the top analyst picks. Gabaji rules right now our predictions roster, so it was a useful tip. But it didn't plan out this week, where Deccan Chargers got the better of FCC Agni, and this was
Didn't
another one.
Did our
Yeah,
friend KK say he picked Deccan Chargers? I thought he said that, but
yeah, I
I
think
could
he
be
said
wrong.
that. How
I,
and what made him pick that? Because I don't know. I mean, I haven't picked Deccan Chargers too often, even though they are like in the
they're
top
like
top.
number 4, Parthiv. I think they're playing quite good cricket. So, but
Correct.
even this one, Parthiv, if you really look at the game, Agni had the game in control throughout, and then
Yep.
Hurricane Sriya took over. You see.
Right.
Anyway, let's
Yeah.
continue.
Yes, and I think that was exactly how I interpreted it. The FCC Agni, after scoring those 135, would have felt so. The game was in their grabs, and contributions from Fahad, Raghu, Parimal. I think top batting effort by them. Probably lost a few wickets trying to accelerate towards the end, but 135 any day, a captain takes it. I'm sure Ramesh would be happy with their batting effort. But when it came to bowling, I think that was where FCC Agni let it slip, especially towards the end. The wickets, they had a good start with the bowling. They got wickets at regular intervals. By the mid break, they had Eagles almost half the team out. But then came in Sai Surya, and a lot of times it has happened especially these Division Two games, that people in the lower, middle, and lower order tend to kind of contribute big time, and I attribute it to the teams kind of forming, new players coming in. You probably don't know, haven't seen them. You tend to let them. They don't know their position in the batting order, and that's why you see somebody who's like 9 or 8 down contributing like 47 runs, and he played with authority. Sai Surya, if you look at the innings, 247 strike rate, 5 sixes, 3 boundaries. That tells me that this he's definitely not a number nine player, number nine, number eight. He's definitely belongs to the top of the order. But he controlled and he dominated the FCC Agni bowling, and was able to get Deccan Chargers across the line. A very on a close win, but Deccan Chargers would be very very happy, and they also, I think, got the bonus point as well, because I see here they got these runs in 21.1 overs, which I know is 21.3 is the magic number. So FCC Agni would have felt short, might another couple of balls, and at least they would have got a point out of this game. But a great win for Chargers. FCC Agni, I know they've had a fabulous season so far, so this might be a hurdle and a timely reminder for them to pull up their socks before they hit the playoffs.
Yeah, Partha, when I look at it, for Agni, number of batsmen contributed. Parimal, 34 out of 31. Fahad, 28 out of 33. Dhanush, 23 out of 30. Raghu Muralidharan, I don't know if you remember him. He was
Yep,
the former knocker captain, vice
Knockers guy.
captain when
Yep,
Sanoj was there. 30
yep.
out of 30. 135 for 8, Partha, in 25 is a very, very good score. I mean, you give me 135 and ask me to defend 135. I'll take it eyes closed. You get my point, almost against anybody. I would say, you know what? Yep, we'll try to get the job done. Or if we can't get the job done, then we don't deserve to win. Simple as that. I think for Deccan Chargers, Sai Surya, 5 overs, 22 runs, 3 wickets, and Tejaswar, 5 overs, 18 runs, 3 wickets. They were pretty impressive. So Sai Surya was all over, Parthav. He was doing it with
Yep.
the ball.
All
He
in
was
back.
doing it with the bat. He was the man of the hour. Now, if you ask me, Agni controlled the game, Parthiv, because you look at the score. Deccan Chargers were reduced for 64 for 7 in 13.5. That means they need 72 runs in 11 overs, with 3 wickets in hand. Now, if you ask me, I'll take that any given day. They're telling me that an opposition will score 72 runs in 11 overs with only 3 wickets in hand. But here is the problem, Parthiv. That's when Sai Squared took over. Well, you have Sai Marasani, who's a great skipper. We talked about him, I don't know, maybe the first show or the second show, and he has been leading very well. Remember, Parthiv, this is the same guy who was the captain of SSK last year. All right.
Yes.
And after he took over, SSK's fortunes turned over. You get my point? They
Mhm.
were being led by Lingappan and they were going nowhere. And then Sai Marasani took over and the fortunes changed. The focus was now on the game and the outcome of the game rather than external extracurricular activities, you see. And but this Sai Sriya Parthiv, I don't know, I'm surprised that you don't remember him. He was doing damage last year too. Last year too, this is the same guy who was having 200, 300 strike rate. This guy has been absolutely hammering the ball. Every last year, this year, he
Oh,
has
yeah.
this is the man who has been doing the damage, and every single time he comes with just 1 wicket remaining or 2 wickets remaining, Sai Marasani must be knowing something which you do not know or I do not know, because every game, this is where Sai Sriya comes in. And Parthiv, if you ask me, Sai Sriya is the dynamite of Detroit. That's what I call him. Now, um, maybe the team that has the real dynamite, Parthiv, should call themselves the Dynamites, not the original Dynamites led by our friend Vijay Shanmugam, because Vijay Shanmugam has all those high priced talent from Pakistan. Maybe our friend Vijay Shanmugam should hire Sai Sriya, and then he would be the real Dynamites, because he would have a dynamite of a player. Well, Sai Sriya is a dynamite of a player. What a dynamite of a player, Parthiv. 47 and 19 balls, three fours, five sixes, and as you told, 247.37 strike rate. Parthiv, this was so one sided. This guy made it so one sided. 11 overs, 72 runs, three wickets in hand, and the Agni did not even get a bonus. I mean, talk about complete domination. But with this win, Parthiv, here is the other good thing which has happened for Deccan Chargers. They are firmly in the playoff with this win. They cannot be booted out.
Yep.
So I guess congratulations are in order for Sai Marasani and company, because this was a fabulous win. I didn't see it coming. 64 for 7. I thought, yep, my Agni pick is good. But Sai Sriya had different plans. And so congrats to them.
Yep. I think this was a great game. Sorry. This was a great game for, Deccan Chargers. I think beating a top team would have given that much satisfaction. And as you said, the domination of actually winning it with the bonus point uh, helps a lot of confidence going into the last couple of weeks of this season. All right, that does it for our Division Two games. Before we go into Division One, I wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that have impacted Division
Didn't
One.
we? Aren't we supposed to cover this Canton Hurricanes versus Detroit Eagles game?
Oh yes, yes. That yeah, I missed that because that's towards the top of the table. That happened on a weekday. Oh yes, the Canton Hurricanes and Detroit Eagles. Let's do that. Then we can go into Division One. So yeah, that happened? It was a rescheduled game. Happened over the weekday, and Canton Hurricanes. We all loved Canton Hurricanes last season when they were part of Division One. Sorry to see them go into Division Two, but Division Two has helped them actually, and I always feel like it's not a bad thing to go into Division Two, even though it might feel that you're relegated, you're not there with the top teams. Yes, those things absolutely make a huge difference, but it gives the team a chance to kind of take a step back, reassess a lot of their players, reassess the management, give maybe start in a different direction. And I think Canton Hurricanes have started doing that. Yes, they haven't seen the win columns regularly as they would like, but I think they've at least started to win a lot more and starting to get up the table. They are at the brink of that. They are number sixth in position. They still have competition both up and down. They have Avengers and Phantoms breathing down their neck. But this win would be a great welcome win for Canton Hurricanes, and we see good contributions from the bat. Adarsh, we talked about him. He had a fabulous season last year, carrying the weight. Umair, and then Mohammad Omer Khan, and then Sadat. All of them contributed, but I think the standout performer would have to be the 5 wickets that Omar took, along with his batting. I think his performance with both the bat and ball made sure Canton Hurricanes got all the 5 points. And Eagles again, another one which they took it pretty deep, took it as far as they could, and another great innings by Chandan again. Within a week he's had like what 46 and then another 39. Amazing batting performances, but again Uh, Probably a little less for for carrying that win for Detroit Eagles. But all in all, I think a great game. Congrats to Canton Hurricanes.
Yeah, Parthu, I thought again, Hari Parlava is a good leader. He has been able to motivate his team and continue to try to get some good performances. And oftentimes he's leading from the front. And I do not know if you remember 2 years ago or something like that, Javed was the skipper, but
Hmm.
Hari was the one who sat and wrote up a write up of all the individual players
Yes.
because we used to have this meet the
Hmm.
team or
Yeah.
introduce the team and things like that. And that tells me he's a very dedicated person, and I always respect a dedicated person because not too often in life you find that kind of dedicated people. So when Canton Hurricanes does well, I'm happy for Hari Pallava. Uh, Again, in this game, Sadat Bahir had a very good game, 25 of 19, three sixes. Umair Tahir, the ex-Glatz player, he before he got out, run out, he scored 11. And then Adarsh Nair back in the runs. And he was also, I think, one of the jury members who
Yes.
adjudicated the
Yep.
Stingers versus Indus Thunders game. But
Yep.
107 is a decent total, Parthiv. And again, Detroit Eagles, if you ask me, remember I told you Pavan Yanam has been giving up a lot of runs. And look at this again. This game, 2 overs, 25 runs, you see.
Hmm.
So I call it, you know what I call it when a bowler gives up that kind of runs in two games back to back? And I call it a millionaire spending like a billionaire, you know? I do not know. You remember Michael Jackson? I think you
Yes.
know the pop star, right?
Yes. Yes.
The former pop star who was dead and gone. But Michael
Hmm.
Jackson was very famous. He was a millionaire, but he was very famous for spending way beyond his means. He buys these Neverland ranches and has Disney World like stuff at his home and things like that. Well, our friend Pavan Michael Jackson Yanam really cost Eagles big time because he gave up 7 wides, 2 overs, 25 runs. And thankfully, the skipper, Krish, cut him off after 2 overs. Otherwise, I do not know what the situation would have been because Canton Hurricanes might have scored 150. But again, once again, Chandan Mali had a ball of a game. Once again, 39 out of 41 balls. I haven't seen him play, but if there was a video, I would go and see because obviously he's scoring a lot of runs. And
Yep.
it's only when you score these kind of runs that they come on our radar. And once we get on the radar, that's when you become popular because we then talk about it. Venkatesh Muthireni, I do not know if you remember a long time
Yep.
back, he was
Troy
there.
Hawk.
He was a Troy Hawks player. You remember that? And
Yes.
anyway,
Yes.
he scored 32 out of 40 balls. So, but I thought this game was Mohammad Omar Khan. Mohammad Omar
Yes.
Khan, if you ask me, had an Imran Khan like performance with the ball. 4 overs, 11 runs, 5 wickets. All right. He demolished, decimated, and devastated the Detroit Eagles and made the Eagles look like the dodo. I do not know if you remember the dodo. It lived in the 17th century. It went
Hmm.
extinct in the 17th century. But Canton Hurricanes just gave 5 wides. Saad Salman, 5 overs, one maiden, 13 runs, 4 wickets. He was super Salman Parthiv, and he was the 1-2 punch with Mohammad Omar Khan. Omar Khan was the number one punch. Saad Salman was the number two punch, and those two punches landed square on the Eagles' jaw, and the Eagles were down for the count. But the Eagles played well. So that's the positive which we have to take away.
Yep.
This game, as well as the other game which we talked about, they gave their opponents all they could handle. They made life very miserable for this thing. So yes, they lost the game, but how you lose makes a difference. Because when you look at I think it is the Stingers. If you look at it, they have been getting decimated out there in Division One. This week it was somebody decimating them, and then I think last week also it was somebody decimating them. So Here, yes, it's a loss, but it is a close loss, you see. So, congrats to Eagles, even though they lost, but I think they fought hard, and that's what counts.
Yep. Absolutely. I think losing by close margin always hurts, but at least you have the satisfaction that you were able to make a match of it and wasn't a complete domination in a rollover, bending down and accepting defeat. All right, that definitely finishes our Division Two games. Let's go on to Division One, and I was actually getting at something which has made real impact on Division One. There have been quite a few uh, discussions. There have been complaints that have been surfacing. Three that I know of, and one that the verdict that we know of. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the Indus Thunders and Stingers game. The verdict went out. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the thick of things. I'm not a captain anymore, nor am I a committee member. So I don't get a lot of the emails that are sent out or communication that is sent out. I'm not on the read write as well. But I saw on the points table the result getting impacted. Stingers awarded the game uh, on by virtue of the complaint that was sent. Now again, this I know we have talked about it last week, but since the verdict is now out, official, it feels like, and especially considering that it was given to a jury consisting of three neutral members. So the committee, tried tried to kind of deflect its decision making to bringing in a jury. That's the first time that I have heard a jury being brought in for a verdict. My first question is, like, was this even something that should have taken so much attention and uh, this big a verdict that was required? It almost felt like a murder trial from the way it was handled, and and even the verdict handed down to Indus Thunders, which makes Indus Thunders position, as well as, and from what I've known from players, and Thunders has been a very repute has a great repute in DCL. Players that we know of, players that I have played with, very rarely they I have seen them involved in anything which is not cricket, on the field, off the field. So I feel very hard done by, considering Indus brings such a has such a huge tradition, has such a rich history, champions of the past, and now they're struggling to get to playoffs and even have a possibility of being relegated to Division Two because of the impact of this game. So there's definitely these 5 points may seem small for some teams, but for a team like Thunders, and the impact that can have on them, it feels like a huge decision. So Vijay, I would love to get some discussion. Let talk about how you feel. I know you've been part of committee before. You've been in DCL for a very long time, and I don't know if you've ever seen a jury come and make a verdict like this.
No, Parthu, first of all, I don't agree with this jury business, because why did we put a committee in place, right? We
Yes.
put a committee in place to this thing. But I understand the committee. Uh, well, yeah, I think the committee also has a problem, because committee has number of um, members who have a
Hmm.
conflict in this particular game,
Yes.
depending on how the outcome of the game goes. And so there were, in the background, there is chatter going on that the committee members are only interested in their own team. And this is also coming also from within committee members, that,
Hmm.
hey, some of these committee members, they really only care about their team and not about anything else. So none of these things are helping. And on top of that, there are some committee members who are also coming out and saying, when the umpiring is not good, and I think we saw
Yeah.
screenshots coming, that, oh, this is a crappy league and things like that. So none of this is helping. So there is a lot of things which is going on. And then we have this situation, and maybe it's kind of difficult when I'm sitting 10,000 miles away to know everything which is going on or things like that. And it's the same thing with you. We both are outside the loop. We only get what somebody
Yep.
sends to us, and we end up having to read through that and figure things out. But let's listen to the Indus side of things. I'm not going to identify who sent this. I'm going to read this out, Parthiv, and then I'm going to ask you, because before we came on the show, you
Mhm.
had a similar situation
Yes,
between GLCC and Dynamites. Now, all I
correct.
know is, Parthiv, if you went to court and I went to court, you
Mhm.
cannot have one set of rules for Parthiv and another set of rules for me. If
Absolutely.
GLCC versus Dynamites was ruled in one particular way, then I do not see why Indus versus Stingers should be ruled in any another
Mhm.
way. You get my point? So let's look at this, because again, I realize that we are looking at it based on whatever. But the guy who sent this to me, I have a lot of respect for him. That I know that he wouldn't deliberately lie. You get my point? So I
Yep.
have that confidence. So let me read some of what he sent to me. It basically started out by saying that, he misses me, having me in the committee, because I was one of the few people who would point things when it was wrong and tell wrong as wrong. It doesn't matter what the reason was, wrong is always a wrong. The background, he says, is that Indus played a game against Stingers, Alagu and company on May 17th. One of our players wasn't showing up on the roster before the game started. Now, then Dinesh, the Indus captain, called Alagu and explained the situation. And the first reaction of Alagu was, "It's okay, Dino. Let's start the game." And he says that I was standing right beside Dino when this happened. All right. Now he says Dino made a mistake here of not informing the main umpire, as the opposition captain had agreed to the point. The game, he says, carried on without any issues. Stingers never complained about this to the umpire during the game. The game carried on. They scored 60 odd runs. Indus had a slump of wickets in between, which is not surprising because Indus has been known to do that every now and then. All right. And during the game, and the game carried on, they scored 60 odd runs. Indus had a slump, and then that created a chance for Stingers to win the game. 7 wickets were down, and then Harsha, the player who wasn't showing up in the squad, went ahead and finished the game. This is when Stingers raised the issue and complained to the committee after a few days. Is this even cricket? That the game, which was won fair and square by a team, is now the victory is taken away because the opposition cited rules going back and then went back on their word. He goes on to say, we have no proof that he agreed, and if he changed his word. Now, I've been part of this league for so many years, but I have lost complete faith and interest in DCL and its committee. The only point they have to argue is the rule book. I don't even think anyone has the guts to question the Stingers as to why they played this game without hesitation or not even raise a complaint to the umpire during the game. I wonder if any of the committee teams will accept this decision. I miss you not being here, because I know you wouldn't be biased. Now, cricket is a gentleman's game, and there is nothing about Alagu or Stingers which is gentlemanly. Now,
Mhm.
having said that, uh, you know, um, he goes on to say that they are very demotivated to continue in the league or fielding the team next year in the league.
Mhm.
This is not how we should be walking away from the league after playing so many years. But uh, basically, the bottom line is he's saying is they are very demotivated. They
Mhm.
did talk to Vadnala Bai because, and he too shares the same opinion. And this is what I noticed. Whether it's Vadnala or me or you, Parthav, or KK, all of us seem to be all on the same page that the game should be settled on the field and it should not be
Yep.
settled off the field. And uh, and so the thing is that and so basically he's saying is that he's sharing his thoughts, and uh, he feels it's an unfair decision, and so Again, I didn't identify the name of the person, but I
Mhm.
just read out to you pretty much the sum of the thing. But now, Parthiv, let us go back and take a look at it, because this is not hearsay anymore, because you were the umpire and
Yep.
the game was between GLCC and Dynamites. Take us
Yep.
through that and let us see if there was any difference between the Stingers versus Indus Thunders game and the game where you were the umpire. All right.
Yep.
If we can't have one set of rules for GLCC and Dynamite, simple as that. Just because both of those guys are in the committee. All right,
Correct.
they have committee members in the representing them. That's not fair. At the end of the day, if you have a set of rules, again, I
Mhm.
think the idea is to allow as many players as possible to play the game. The
Correct.
other day, Gaba told about how Jagan was there and they didn't allow Jagan to play the game. And my point is, we should be, of course, that was a technical point in the sense that the 12th player had disappeared. So
Mhm.
Gaba was well within his right not to allow Jagan to bat, but Jagan felt hurt. You get my point?
Yep.
Now, our objective is to allow as many people as possible to play the game and not find a reason why we should not allow them to play the game. Go ahead and explain what happened in your game, and then we'll try to dissect as to how is this different from the Thunder's game. Sorry, Indus versus Stingers game.
Yeah. So I think this game happened last week. I think, if I'm not mistaken. When did I go umpiring? Yeah, I think it happened last week when we had a bye, and it was fresh on my mind because this incident had happened, and we had talked about it in our show. We had heard about it in our WhatsApp group as well. So I was aware of what the complaint was at that time. I think the verdict wasn't out, but I knew what was going on, and this exact same situation happened. A player, former Dynamites, I think his name is Naresh, if I'm not mistaken. He was part of Dynamite's roster a couple of years ago, and I think he was in the roster, as KK told me, until last year. He probably didn't play many games last year for Dynamites, but he was still in their roster, and he had expressed his desire to play GLCC, and it happened probably in the week before, the days before that game. So they weren't able to move him from the Dynamites roster to the GLCC roster in time. I think the waiver wasn't signed or the player wasn't approved. Not sure exactly the technicalities of what it needs to happen before it starts showing up in the other roster. But I know that the captain of Dynamites in this case has to release that player from their roster, and then he becomes available in the general pool, and then the team that is interested, or he wants to play, has to add him into the roster. So that needs to happen. There's a couple of things that need to happen to for that player to appear in the roster, and that didn't happen. So an email
So
was sent by.
he's our friend Vijay Shanmugam says that he was not in his roster in 2025. Or if he was
Okay.
not in the roster, then this is even more intriguing, right?
It
I
was
mean,
it was intriguing at the start at that game, and KK mentioned that he was in the roster. I called Vijay, and Vijay said no, he's not part of our roster. Then suddenly he appears in the available players, and KK is able to pick him at the last word. But since they were not able to do it the previous night, an email was sent by GLCC Kaushik to committee, and they showed me the email that Naresh, who the player in question, sent an email to the committee saying he desires to play for GLCC and that Dynamite should release him, or whatever, in that case, that he wants to play for GLCC. So again, it was a similar situation where a player is not available in the roster. They aren't able to pick him through the app. He's available, he's physically present there, and uh, the game in question here, because Dynamites was his former team, Vijay was involved, because we had to basically ask Vijay, like, you need to release him so that he becomes available, and that entire episode happened in that half an hour. So it was very similar to the situation against Stingers and Thunders. In this case, since both captains and the committee was involved, I mean, Vijay being the committee member and the captain, we were able to sort this out quickly. But in the case of Thunders, I don't think there was any committee member involved or was able to help in that manner. I'm not blaming the committee because I'm pretty sure early in the morning, you can't expect somebody to just leave everything and help you. That is asking for a lot. But coming back to that point, when a player shows up, and that happens in DCL, and we are not international teams that we always have 11. Many a times in the past, and it will happen in the future, where a team is short of players the morning and they find a player and they want to add him or make him play. To your point, we should be having rules that allow people to play rather than having these difficult moments where we are not able to play a player. In this case, the when I called the committee, or for against what should happen, what was told to me was, let's talk with the captain. If he agrees, we can go ahead, and you need to inform the umpire. So I think that was a critical piece where the information needs to be shared with everyone concerned, all the people who are in that decision making body. But I question this thing again. Like, I don't know why there are rules, and then there is also this ethical or moral thing to do on the field. It should never be the case. Like, it should never be like, okay, the since the captain allows, we are going to let it. Like, in one game the captain will not allow, and then the other thing the captain will allow. It cannot be that way. We need to come up with a way to say, okay, it is allowed or not allowed, doesn't matter. We don't need to ask permissions. That's the piece which I'm very concerned about, that there is this almost the, I would say, I don't know the word, but essentially a very fine or very loose gray area between what is ethical and what is rules. It's like the man cat thing. It's like, yes, it's a rule, but then again, you have, what if the captain withdraws the appeal? So that's a debate which is, I think, in international cricket also.
Parthiv, I have some very
Looks like people are listening and people are sharing information.
yeah. Um,
Yes, go on. You were going to say.
no,
What's going on?
Parthiv, I play because of teams like Strikers or GLCC or Indus. All right.
Hmm.
If you guys were not there in the league, I don't think I'll be. I haven't slept all night, Parthiv, believe it or not. This is how dedicated I am to my craft. On the day of the show, the whole night I do not sleep. And then I come directly because I know that I won't wake up. If I go to sleep, I may not wake up. So
Hmm.
I make it a point to not sleep. I drink lots of coffee and things like that. For me, what makes DCL is the familiarity of the players.
Yep.
Nothing gets me up like playing GLCC. All right, I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me all the wins of the season and win against GLCC, I'll take the win against GLCC. All the other wins, fine, forget it. I've met characters. I've Vijay Shanmugam or people whom I will remember for the rest of my life. Or a Jagan Konda or a Parthiv Mehta or in these things. And now the thing is that, um, I have here a video sent to me where the Indus Thunders are saying that there is a video where they are informing Alagu about this player. All right. So if Alagu is saying that, no, I was never told, what they are saying is that is not true. So apparently they now have a video of this. I don't know where this video was, whether this video was presented to the jury or any of those things. I have no idea. But anyway, since I was not there, I mean, what can I say other than I can only read to you some things which have not been made public so far. All right. So this is, again, I'm not going to tell you the name of the person who told me this because probably is shared in confidentiality with me. But
Yep.
I do respect the person, so I know that he is not going to make up stories and tell it to me. Anyway, he said they are going to let the captain of Indus Thunders is going to inform the committee officially. All right.
Mhm.
And DCL Primetime is one of the place where they feel that they can express their feelings openly. All right. Without being judged and without um, having to go through any this thing with discretion. Indus is very disappointed with the decision, and as a result, as a group, they have decided to withdraw from the league. This is what I was suspecting was going to happen. I suspected this was going to happen. I had already heard rumors of it, but now I can tell you that I actually have a text which says that that they are going to officially withdraw from the league, and a note to that effect will be sent soon with more details. And now Indus is everything for this person, and DCL is one of the best leagues that they have played in. But at this point, they feel sad that Indus is not going to be playing anymore in this season. And at this point, Partho, I've always said this: if Glatz is relegated to Division Two, I would wind up Glatz. Simple as that. I'm not interested in playing in Division Two, and I would have wind up Division Glatz and say be done with it. And I have a feeling that's probably the same thing with those Indus Thunders guys. They can go and dominate Division Two and win Division Two, but what does it do anything, and play and come back? I don't think they have this thing. And my feeling is they feel that they are not quite sure about their participation next season. So, but I can see the writing on the wall, and neither you nor I am as stupid to understand that. And they say that when the committee brought a jury, they shouldn't be told about the history. Rather, they should have let the captains and umpires speak in the meeting, and the jury should only hear and then provide decision. But that didn't happen. Also, two out of the jury members can together, uh, and I'm not understanding that. Also, two out of three jury members can together to the meeting after knowing the details. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm just reading to
Yeah.
you as it is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they did present the video to the jury, by the way. That's what. But they are in tears, and it's not just they are in tears, Parthiva.
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely.
I'm
We feel
I'm
for
sick to
them.
my stomach, and I
Mhm.
think the Glad skipper also told Alagu at that meeting, see, Alagu, you're getting a very bad reputation from this whole thing. And you know
Mhm.
what? Just go and maybe just go. And I had given this solution out. Again, we're trying as to see, is there a way out of this whole thing? You know what? I had even suggested to Jagan also. And had a good conversation with Jagan. And I said, Jagan, why not ask these two teams to come and play and settle it on the ground? You guys provide the best empires that you can provide, and let them settle the matter, and whoever wins the game, there ends the matter. Okay, we have this whole thing has gone out of it. We don't want to be unfair to Alagu and company, and we don't want to be unfair to Indus. uh, Clearly, something was discussed. I was not there, you were not there, but obviously they were told that, and you went ahead and played the game, and then after the result is over, you don't like the result and you decide, okay, I want to complain. It never sits right with anybody. Anybody who is fair minded will say that no, 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 that's not the way to do this, and it just doesn't sit well. And if Indus withdraws from the league, it is a black mark for the league. I think
Yep.
everybody knows that. A former champion, not just a one time champion, that it is a fluke.
Yeah.
This is a three-time champion. And if he withdraws from the league, it's a black mark for the league. And I'll be honest with you. And as a competitor, I want to beat Indus when we go out and play there. But I have always said that I absolutely respect the hell out of them. And many of their players we would take in a heartbeat because we think they are quality people and they are quality players too. At the same time, it is fun to go and play and leave it all out on the field. Partha, how many times you and I have had heated discussions, but it never goes beyond the field. You get my point, and we settle it.
Yeah.
It's over. End of discussion. Anyway,
Yep.
jury members. I'm not sure who all. I think Adarsh Nair was one of the jury members, and I know Vatnala was one of the jury members. I'm not sure who the other jury members were,
I
but
think the third one was who was it? I know a name. Rajesh from Phantoms. Phantoms
okay.
captain. Yep.
So I do not know. I mean, I do not know how all the voting went, but
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, yes, I think I'm very disappointed as well. More disappointed to hear this news.
this
Uh,
this is news which came right now. You get my
yeah,
point. We did not know this, but
yeah,
I'm going to ask if is it okay with you if I ask if Dinesh can join the show? I mean,
absolutely. Yes, we would love.
there was an offer made to me that I mean they can ask Dinesh to join the show, but because then we can
Absolutely,
ask the
we would love it.
question,
Yeah,
uh,
yep,
uh,
we would love it.
and so maybe we can if he joins the show, then we can discuss this and ask him exactly what happened. Because here's the problem, Parthavai, and this is why I did not want Dinesh to go and represent Indus,
Mhm.
because I have a feeling this is, I told you this last week itself. I don't want Dinesh or Satya Vimal arguing any case because I have a feeling that they will lose the case.
Yeah,
But I don't know, Parthav. This is not the way
yeah.
I
I mean,
want.
this is really, really
It
disappointing.
leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Very bad taste. Very bad
And,
taste.
and
I
you know what?
agree.
I have a game against Titans, and at this point, I can't even think about the Titans. I really don't even care about that game now
Right.
because I'm just so disgusted. That's the problem. The problem
Yeah.
is, I mean, these are the guys with whom I have battled for what is that, 15 years, 20 years. Now, if they leave the league,
Yeah,
it
it
just
definitely creates a
kills.
very bad name. Very, very, harsh things happening to a great team of players. Some team, as I mentioned, they have a tradition, they have a history, dated, and some of these players have been, a great representation of DCL. They've been representing DCL, the brand DCL, for a very long time, and I do feel I'm using this forum to appeal maybe to the Stingers captain that that's something that he should be thinking about.
Parthav, before this thing, do you have the
Yeah,
link to the show which you can
yeah,
share?
yeah, yeah. I can.
Can you send me that link? I do not know how to get this link.
I will share it. Yeah,
If you can send it to me, then I will send it to this person, and this person will send it to the. I don't even have Dino's number. You get my point?
yeah, yeah.
So it's very difficult for me to send anything directly to him. I've never
Right.
communicated with him. So this would be the first time where we would be doing something like this. And
Uh,
obviously, this also means that we can't cover almost any of the other games. But that's
yes.
okay. Uh, I think you have sent me,
Yeah,
right? So
just forward that. Yeah.
I'll just forward that. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, as I was mentioning, I would basically, if meet Alagu, I'm gonna basically request him, like, what you have created, no matter what, maybe you didn't intend it to go this far, or you didn't intend it to happen this way, whatever the case may be. uh, you know, if there is any way you can withdraw the appeal, because it's not helping anyone. It's not going to
Parthiv,
help.
it is not just you. All of us feel the same way. And when
Yeah,
all of us feel the same way, and all these are veterans and stalwarts, and they are
yeah,
all feeling the same way that you are
yeah,
hosting. And I told this to Jagan.
right.
Jagan, this is not the way. And if Indus withdraws at that time itself, this I did not know that Indus will withdraw, but I had a feeling. All right. any self-respecting team. I mean, I think if Gladys were in the same situation, I think Gladys would have withdrawn. I mean, I would have said, you know what, forget it. I'm not. But luckily, I'm not in that situation. I mean, but what I'm saying is, again, we had a similar situation where Hardeep Singh took a decision to play with 10 players. Again, it's the same thing. That player was added I mean, previously, and then I think that day morning they activated him. It should be good enough. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, as I said,
now,
this is
you
not
know
the
what,
first.
Parthu? I went through the rule book. There is nothing which says that you can't add the player on the day of the game. Show me
There is,
one.
as I
There
said,
is
there is.
nothing in the rule book. All right. Now, they can create their own separate these things and then try to argue
Yeah,
over this. But in the rule book, show me one place where it says that you can't add a player on that day of the game. I mean, and
right.
again, how is this different from what happened between Dynamites and GLCC?
Exactly.
Now, they're committee member teams.
And
Yeah.
that has happened. As I said, this is not the first time it's ever happened this season. It's happened multiple seasons. I've been in the committee multiple seasons, and we have these issues which come up every single time, where a roster, where a team, where a player doesn't show up on the scorecard, and requests are made after the game to change the name player who actually played versus the player who was added, because they weren't able, someone played on a different name. So it's happened before. So I'm very surprised why. And to be honest, again, I'm still searching for why is this issue so differently handled, and why is this issue so blown out of proportion that it needs to punish or fine someone with that much amount of penalty of 5 points. 5 points is a huge thing for any team. It takes so much time, it takes so much effort for a team to win. So much dedication, and then you suddenly, just because of some issue, and that may not be an issue which the team deliberately wanted to do. It's just happened to be the process step missed, that you are actually punishing the whole team. You're not only punishing the whole team, you're punishing the whole the support system that actually goes behind the team as well. So I'm really, really surprised at why this issue was handled in this manner by the committee. I mean, more than Stingers, I think I have questions for the committee. Yes, Stingers did the wrong thing of putting the complaint, not respecting the on the.
Parthiv, I blame you and I blame Vamsi for that. You guys left the committee. And that indirectly, I blame you two guys too. All right. Let me tell you that.
Yeah,
There is nothing like experience, Parthiv. There is nothing like experience. You can't replace that kind of experience overnight. Let me tell you that. And if you look at it, and this is Jagan and I, when we talked also, this is one thing which we talked about in the past. When we talked about whether it was Bhatnala, me, all of us in the committee, we looked at the best interest of the league, not
yep,
for not our individual team. What is in the best interest of the league? And we have to do what is
yep,
in the best interest of the league. We have, because once you open a can of worms, now Parthu, here is the problem. FCC is going to, if they file an official complaint saying that that ball didn't deserve a wicket, and if you really read the rule book says that wherever the batsman is standing, not even the popping crease. And that actually the rule book, needs to be changed, because it
right.
should
It
be at
has
the
to be
popping crease. It should be at the popping crease. Now, what if you have a short guy? Let me think of somebody. V.
the guy from
Shashank.
Hawks.
Yeah,
Yes,
V. Shashank. Very good batsman. Very good batsman. Let him go 2 feet for, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet forward.
yeah.
Every ball is going to be
Over.
probably over waist height. Are we going to say now that all of those are no balls? I mean,
Right,
now if you're Shashank, that's probably what he should be doing. He should be going 3 feet and say that all these balls are no balls. But I mean, I do not know. I hope that FCC doesn't file a complaint. But
yep.
if they file a complaint, they have a legitimate reason, because hey, you took the complaint for Stingers, so take this complaint
I
too.
think, I think I'm pretty sure the committee is going to come back and say whatever happened on the field, the umpires are the last,
Well,
representation of
we
the
always
committee.
used to say umpires were an extension
Right,
of the committee. Well, if the
right,
umpires were an extension of the committee and you guys played the game and you decided the
exactly.
game, then what's there
I
to
think I
talk
think that
further?
the only part I want to is debatable is this whole thing about whether the umpires knew or didn't know or whatever the case
But
that's
you know
lingered.
what? Here is the thing. I probably should have called the Glads Empire, because the one of the guys who umpired is the Glads Empire, and he said that he knew. So I
Okay,
do not know. I mean, I again, sometimes you have to get all these people in the same
right,
room, then you
yeah,
can understand what really happened. I mean, I
yeah,
don't
because
know.
we are hearing a lot of different versions of the issue coming from different sources, and I'm actually confused as to what the real issue was, because if the umpires knew about it, the captain knows about it, as Indus Thunders mentions, then what's the issue? Like, how is this becoming an issue?
Anyway, all right.
Anyway,
Let's see if he joins. If he joins, we'll bring up the page. And until then, let's move on probably to the next game. We probably can't cover all the games, Parthu. So
yeah,
pick
let's,
whatever game you want to pick. Pick, all right, and
yes,
then we'll discuss that game. Simple as that.
yeah. I will skip strikers knockers because this is that's the worst game and I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
But that was a very horrible outing for us. Knockers pretty much convincingly beat us, so there's nothing much to write home about that game. I would pick Raptors versus Pokri simply because I think this is a very, very surprising result. This is something which I didn't expect from a team, a finalist three times or four times. I'm sure it's 3 or 4 times. 3 times, Pokris.
Pokris,
Uh,
haven't they been in the finals 4 times?
I
I
think it's
thought
four.
twice to Glads, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Indus Thunders once, and then Knockers once. Now I do
Yes.
not
So
know
I
if
think
they were. I do not know if they played any other team in the finals, but I believe that those are the
four
four
times.
finals.
Yes. So yes, I wasn't sure about the 3 and the 4, but uh, coming back to this game, it was very, very surprising to see them fold and be beaten by Raptors so very easily. A defeat of almost 64 runs, and Raptors are looking stronger as days grow. I think the team is starting to gel with the Hitmen guys, Raptors, Hitmen, kind of forming this new roster. And I see the regular guys starting to show up. Kiran and Pradeep Bota has been in great form. He's got a brilliant 50 against us as well. He's carrying the bat, and if I'm not mistaken, he's still probably the highest scorer right now in terms of stats. So he's
You're
definitely.
telling me that Amit Patel, whose score is being counted 4 times
I don't
every
know how.
game, every game, his score is counted 4 times, still can't catch Botta? I mean, that then Botta is something. Yeah, maybe Botta is better than sliced cheese, and maybe Botta is from outer space. Because if Amit Patel is not having his score counted 4 times every game, in other words, if Amit Patel played 10 innings, 40 times his score has been counted.
I don't know how that has happened, but we were joking about it when we saw it. It's like we were like, how in the world is Amit Patel there? Because we've been talking about how it's been disaster for him, and maybe we need to like, put him down
Talk
the
to.
order. This and and suddenly someone's showing me, "Oh my God, have you seen his stats?" And I'm like, "No way, he's got 200 runs this season." And I was checking the individual. I actually went and checked individual scorecards after that, and I was like, "There is some glitch. I don't know how he's got eight matches, 32 innings for whatever reason, 4 times the number of
Yeah,
innings." So
every match his particular score is counted 4 times. So
there is
that is an amazing glitch. And why
yes.
is it happening only to him?
And there's happening to two people in our team. There's Amit Patel, and then there's Kritesh, who is also part of our team. Something has happened to both of those guys. He hasn't scored 132 runs either. So
Okay.
something is wrong. Maybe there's something which they both did.
And
As far as that means.
knowing our committee, they might give them the batting award, Patel.
Oh my God. But I think I was just going through the stats. It's still Praveen Dige who's at the top. So my bad. Pradeep Bota is in the top three, but still has have been having a great season. What was more interesting was the contribution from Niranjan. He was, if you remember, the captain of Hitman a while ago, and his 36 runs uh, towards the middle and lower order definitely helped a lot to put that 109 runs. And 109 against Pokeries is almost like 130 against any other team, because they have a very good attack, very balanced attack. And that's one thing that I really like about Pokeries is I think they probably have a lot of variety. They're probably missing an out and out fast bowler. I feel they need to get somebody quicker, because they do have like the medium pace and the spin, especially the spin with Sabrish and Saran Raj. They have the spin, and Arun and Vignesh are in there in the all rounder.
Did we lose him? Well, looks like we lost him. So uh, I'm going to finish up on the on his analysis. Let me see if I can. Parthiv, I can't hear you.
Categories, but they still, I think, are missing are even more difficult to score. But fresh out of that 200 which they scored, were totally collapsed, like 45 runs, and they were all out. No Salman and Aditya. Oh, I can hear you.
No, it's suddenly you had frozen up and then suddenly you went very
Oh, okay.
fast.
Can you
All right.
can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
I can now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I was saying that the batting of Pokris completely failed. I think Salman and Aditya, and Abhilash. I think all three of them contributed this 3 runs, and very very miserly. I mean, Pokris wasn't able to score at all. They just strangled hold them, and I think couple of things which haven't happened this year for Pokris is like the couple of additions that they have had. Sanjay hasn't clicked yet for Pokris. He's been someone that I'm pretty sure Vignesh was looking forward to add to their batting and bolster the batting, but I think he hasn't clicked yet. And so has Vignesh, and Vignesh hasn't been, the prolific scorer that he always has been. He hasn't clicked. I think the inclusion of Prasanna bolstered their batting, and those wins came through. But this batting collapse by Pokris definitely worries me a little bit now.
Parthiv, the only thing which struck out to me is the number of LBWs in this game.
Mm.
I do not know if they were all actual LBWs or I mean I'm just surprised. I mean, when I go to the Glads versus GLCC game, I don't think there was a single LBW. But
Mm.
I thought the umpires in the Glads GLCC game were fantastic umpires. All right. None of us could ever fault even one thing. I think
Mhm.
they erred on the side of this thing and they let the teams play and settle it out. And
Mhm.
I do not know, but when I look at this game, I feel I don't know. I mean, either the Pokeries were playing football on a cricket field, or I'm not sure what really happened there.
Yeah, and I think Pokris. If you look at the standings table, they are right at the cusp of playoff. Whether they're in or out, they're at the sixth position right now. That's the cutoff. And
You
Thunderbolts beat. Yeah, go ahead.
remember this, Parthiv? I told you before. It's between Stars, Pokeries, and Indus. One
Hmm.
of the three will get knocked
Yes,
out. And
correct.
right now, well, if whatever has been told to us publicly or privately, whichever way you want to call it, they have informed us that they are going to withdraw from the league. If that is the case, well, uh, one of them is gone, and that then. But is that the way you wanted this thing? You wanted this to be a real contest. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So yeah, it's surprising. Pokris. Every so often see them. Having a very ordinary uh, season. I remember the time when I was part of Raptors that season. Pokris was dead last. I think they were 16, and we played them in the first round, and we got beaten by Pokris the first round. We were unbeaten. They were like number 16, and come playoffs, they suddenly got
Oh,
their A
that
game.
that was the Raptors versus Pokhari's
Correct,
game. Yeah,
correct. Yes,
that's where Vrach came and bowled, and my good friend Ravi Narala hit him for a six to finish
that's
the
right.
game, and then Ravi Narala came and talked to me. I told you I was going to beat the Pokharis. I mean, I was going to beat these guys.
Yes.
That was probably Ravi Narala's finest cricketing
Yep.
moment in his life. All
Definitely,
right.
definitely took us. It was a jaw-dropping moment. When he hit that six, wasn't expecting him to hit Raj. But coming back to the point, they went all the way to the finals that season. Coming 16, then going all the way to the finals. Yes, again they lost in the finals, but my point is, you can never ever count Pokeries out, even though they are at the cusp of playoffs. Uh, you know, they can very well string aside, bring the players, get the players in form. So I think all that they need to do is now, play safe, get to the playoffs, and then take it from there.
Hmm.
All right, let's go on to the next game. The next game I'm going to pick is the Dynamites versus the Titans. And specifically, I'm picking it because, not because of the result, but because of, our analyst as well as the personalities. Vijay has been on the show as well. And this is a game that has some history behind it. There are some players from Titans who have migrated to Dynamites, and Dynamites is strongly now forming a team which is a slightly mixed DNA with some of the players from the past, some of the players which are inducted into this team, who are now starting to kind of take more center stage. We have the likes of Noman Anwar and Khadim, and obviously we have Arun Selvaraj, who is their stalwart and the captain. He's always been a standout performer, but you definitely see a lot of mixed players coming in and starting to kind of perform for Dynamites in this game. I think it was 124, and against a strong Titans unit, a strong bowling unit of Titans, which you have the Parag Karwade, Roni, and Gabaji himself. They generally are very, very miser on giving up runs, but in this case, I think probably not at their best. I think if you look at Parag and if you look at Gabaji, I think both of them kind of gave probably more runs than they normally do. Especially Parag, I've never seen him go like 7-8 per over. He's normally in those 3 and 2 economic rate. So an off day for him. But once they allowed Dynamite to score those 121 runs, I think the pressure was on. They needed a good start, which DG provided. But a similar story to a past, I think the Titans unit, their support to DG hasn't been that strong. When he's been performing, this is the second season he's been performing with the bat and the ball, but there hasn't been much of support for him. Yes, the 90s and the hundreds are where Titans, feel comfortable, but anything over that, like, but once you go beyond the hundreds, I think that's where, unless DG plays a longer innings, I think they tend to kind of struggle to get to that score. So a good win for Dynamites, I would feel. As I mentioned, the team is starting to kind of form, but something that Titans need to go back and reassess, especially their batting.
Parthiv, Vijay brought his best team, high price talent, Nauman Anwar, Mohammad Khadem, Usman Khalid, and the Dynamite's old war horses, Saurabh Puri and Arun Selvaraj, they both clicked. But again, for Titans, Praveen Dige played well. Nothing new about that. That's why he's topping the charts. Um, Again, Gaba and Rupesh were in double figures. But once again, it's the same old story. The rest of the Titans batted more like Lilliputs, not Titans. They batted more like Lilliputs. Titans' strength was their bowling, but again, their bowling, if you ask me, in the last four games, Partho, and that's a pretty good indicator of how well you have been bowling. The last
Uh-huh.
four games, if you look at it, They've all given triple digit scores: 121 to Dynamites, 130 to Stingers, 108 to Legends. And to Bulls, it was 60 for 3 and 13.5, well on the way to a triple digit score if Bulls had batted the full 25 overs.
Yep.
So for me, that seems to be a giant problem. So if Gaba is looking well, it's not just at the batting end that he has a problem. I know that Glads is playing was that Gabaji and company this weekend. And if Satya is smart, then Satya will should tell his team, well, their bowling is there to be taken, and you should play. There's nothing phenomenally great at this point of time, because at least the last four games, that's what it's
Mhm.
indicating, that they have been leaking runs faster than the Titanic. Now I do know that um, inside information has told to me that after the Stinger loss, Gaba gave a 1 hour lecture. That's what I was told. All right, came from
Mm.
pretty reliable sources. But Parthiv, let me ask you: after the Dynamite loss, I am very sure Gabaji gave a half a day lecture to that team as to what's going on. That Titans are in a very precarious position, Parthiv. I think they still make the playoffs, but
Yeah.
this game against Glads, they need to win that game, because if they lose that game, now you probably might have to win the last game, and then you need some permutations and combinations. I do not know. I haven't really looked up
Yeah.
the whole thing,
Yeah.
to
There are
find
a
out.
lot of Yeah, there is a lot of possibilities at this moment. But I think, for Titans, it's simple. They have to win the two games to assure themselves into the playoffs. If they lose against Gladiators, they do have Hawks as their last game, which is probably a lower ranked team. But again, Hawks, can never count on them. But they had a very successful outing this week when they beat local boys by 10 wickets. So, they
Talk,
are the.
talk, talk, talk about a statement performance. That
Yeah.
performance against local boys was an absolutely stunning, jaw dropping, heart stopping performance.
Correct. So
And you
the
know what?
game,
The guy I was talking, Parthiv, the guy I was talking about, Nikul Pasula, I said
yeah,
that, he needs to be going up the order. And he was,
right,
because he's the captain, he was going down. And then guess what, Parthiv? After I said that, well, he started coming one down and he was not scoring. And I'm thinking, I couldn't have been that wrong. I mean, I saw the guy's talent, I know the guy's
right,
ability. Now, you know that form is temporary and class is
yeah,
permanent. And I'm like, okay, man, just believe in yourself. Luckily, okay, he changed from one down and went to opening and he scored well.
yep,
So I felt very happy, because I was feeling a little bit guilty that saying that he should go up the order, and he went one down, and couple of games at one down he didn't perform, and I'm like, oh boy, I said this, and I really felt bad, this thing, but. That Arun Kurup is a fantastic player. I saw
yep,
him against Glads. That boy can really hit the cover off the ball. So, 10 wicket
yeah,
victory. 10 wicket victory, I would have not guessed. You get my point? But
correct. Yep, that was
yeah,
not expected.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Titans, as you mentioned, you have Miles and Hawks breathing down your neck, and Miles have 3 games, an extra game to go as well. So Titans absolutely have to win one of the two games to assure themselves into the playoffs. Definitely. I mean, if not Glads, then at least the Hawks game is something they absolutely have to win.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. I'm going to go to the GLCC Glads game. I think this was a wonderful game, and it was. I'm glad that it is available on streaming. I did take a look at it, and there were quite a few moments, I would say, which were really intriguing, especially towards the end. And I'm glad Satya didn't remove the
The
streaming
rights.
away.
Satya
No,
is not Maulik Patel, Parthiv. So Satya is not Maulik Patel. So just
no,
understand, the rights for the Glads game will be there.
yes. So I was watching the game, and especially the ending, because when I was looking at the score, it definitely looked like a seesaw battle. I mean, at one point of time, GLCC had the upper hand, then Glads came back, and again then GLCC had the upper hand, and then towards the end, Mohammad Wasim, and then Mansab Butt ended in a flurry, in a flourish. That was a moment to see. I mean, especially the celebration and the antiques, Mansab antiques. He's one of my favorite characters in DCL. He brings a lot of great. We need such characters. You need
Oh,
such
absolutely,
characters.
Partha. It's
Yes.
these characters. He and
Yep.
Samish were having a good powwow
Yes.
there, you know.
And Samish too.
No, no, no. Samish was
Yeah.
very heated. I mean, if you see
Yeah.
this game, I mean,
Yep. I saw that.
he was very heated at Brahma, and then Brahma was giving back, saying that you might be a good bowler, but with that kind of attitude, you're not going to get too far, or something like.
See, that's
So.
that's understandable, because I think what Samish and GLCC, they have a different brand which they play, and then there's a different comfort factor which was probably there where Samish had with his former GLCC mates. So if Samish had done the same thing to, let's say, Ashraf, if Ashraf Ashraf was the regular keeper, I'm sure Ashraf would have care two hoots about it, and just let it be in the heat of moment. Because Samish, even though he's like played so many years, has led so many years, he still has that burning passion. He's got the Lifetime Achievement Award. I did ask him on stage, "Are you going to retire now at least?" And he said, "Nope,
Parthiv,
I'm still."
Parthiv, why would he retire? Go and see the game. You will find one thing.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah,
man's
absolutely.
this
I've no
man's
doubt.
pace has gone up. I want to
Yeah, I've
ask
no
him.
doubt.
I want to ask him what in the world was he doing that in the off season? Because actually, Parthiv, but for that last over, which went for 10 runs, he
Mhm.
was bowling great. All right. So
Yeah, yeah. I did
even
see
at
him live. I went to the.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean he bowled really well. Of course,
Yep.
Mansab is Mansab. All right. So Mansab got irritated because Samish said you'll take Mansab's wicket. And KK heard it. Mansab also heard it. You get my point? And Mansab is you know Mansab. All you need is a little bit of a spark.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly I was going to say. That's exactly what you shouldn't do to him, is give him
yes,
a reason to actually get wild up. Because I think there are some players, like I always take example of Virat Kohli. I mean, Virat Kohli is that is best when somebody actually goes and tickles him. Like, he goes in a different gear, in a different way, and he's always that times better when he has a point to prove. And similarly, Mansab, if you make him believe that he is supposed to get after something, and I think he takes it on much, and he's more focused as compared to, if it's a lazy game, you rather want him to laze around and not care about it, because I think that's where he's less dangerous, rather than when he's focused and he wants to prove a point. So I think whoever said that, if KK and whoever said that and he heard it, that's a lesson. You don't say such things and wake up
no,
the
no, no.
sleeping.
It is Samish who said it. KK heard it. KK was sitting outside the ground. Now you can imagine if KK heard it. Obviously, Mansab also heard it, and then of
Yeah.
course Mansab was even more pumped. And
Yeah.
all Mansab
All he
needs is a
needs,
little bit of.
that's I think what his food is, his fodder is. Like, he needs some challenge, and I think they got it to him. But coming back to the match, I think GLCC, I think they had a good game. I think barring that, obviously a close win is always difficult to digest. You have those key moments which could have gone one way or the other. But I think overall, I think they did well. Both the teams did well, batting and bowling wise. GLCC, I think, had a good batting. Akash, obviously, he's one guy you can always count with the bat and the ball. And Hitesh also contributed. I think his innings of 43 greatly contributed to that 124. And at one point of time, I thought 124 is probably just enough, considering that the top two wickets fell, Anup and Zishan fell. I think it was going to be a struggle. And then there were some decent partnerships that Glad stitched together, but it was always like, whenever it felt like, yes, now they have the game in control, a wicket would fall, and then suddenly the game was back in the balance. And it kept happening multiple times. And if you see even the fall of wickets, you will see, like, every 10, 15, 20 runs there was a wicket, and then suddenly the bowling team started to get on top. And I think, again, one of the things that I've always been critical about GLCC this season is the type of attack that they have. I think they have a very, very similar attack. I think they lack the versatility which they once had. Uh, Now, I think a lot of medium pacers are operating out of GLCC, and I think they need to look at that. Somish definitely brings a slight variation. He has a lot of control with his bowling, but other than that, I think a lot of them are very similar paced, and I think that's something which a lot of teams are taking advantage of it, because once you get settled in, it's easy to just keep playing the ball, which is coming at a similar pace, similar height, and similar bounce as well. But a great game, I would say. These two teams, whenever they compete, it's always a cliffhanger, and considering that Mansab Butt took the game with a six. That just puts the icing on the cake. But again, a question I always ask, and maybe this is something which I'll probably never get to a satisfactory answer, is why is Mansab Butt batting so deep? Why is he like 9 down? Is he your like finisher? Is he a designated finisher? And if yes, that's okay. But if that's his role, then I should stop expecting him to stop expecting myself to see him up the order.
Actually, if I was a skipper, he would be batting a little higher. I personally feel that Satya has to reevaluate, because where he puts himself also is important.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know. I mean, and this is something which I sent a message to the team, that the skipper needs to know how to utilize his players the best. And that
Mm-hmm.
means finding out who your bowlers are and who your batsmen are, and where they should be going and things like that. I think in this particular game, we did most of the things right. About the only thing is, we did not know what Mohammad Wasim brings to the table. He was the first game he was playing for us. And I think he's also moving out of towns or out of the state. So probably the last game he played for us. But
Oh.
um,
Mm-hmm.
but we did not know what he brings. And so we thought, okay, we should play him. But I think in this particular game, we used the right left combination to perfection. I'll be honest with you. It was a clinic. But let's just go over this, Parthiv. It was the question at the beginning of the season is, we have never seen such a collection of great talent uh, collected from different parts of DCL, all brought into one team. I mean, the last time I can think of is probably that Raptors team, which had
Mm-hmm.
that kind of talent. And this was the question at the beginning of the season: who can beat GLCC? Well, we found during the season, well, maybe their bowling is not that great, and you already addressed that point. Strikers beat GLCC, and now we found that Glads beat GLCC. And if I'm not mistaken, one other team also beat GLCC. Was
Yeah.
it the Bulls or somebody? Somebody else
I,
also beat
Titans, I think. Titans beat GLCC.
Titans beat GLCC. So basically, GABA has got the better of GLCC. Again, if you really look at it,
Mm-hmm.
these are teams who are pretty decent at strategy. So they are getting the better of them. But I think GLCC made a few blunders. Now, one of the blunders is, Partha, why do you play KK? Let me ask you a
Yeah,
simple game, right? I mean,
absolutely.
if KK is in the playing 12, he has to bat. If
Yep.
he doesn't bat, then please drop him.
Yep.
He doesn't deserve. You can't use him as a fielder. All right.
Right.
At this point of time, I have a feeling I might be able to give him a run for the money in the fielding department. Forget run for the money, Parthiv. I'm very confident I will beat KK in a running race. Okay. I am very confident of that. I'm willing to take that bet also. And it's an open challenge. I'll take him and I'll beat him in a running race. All right. Now, what I'm saying, Parthiv, is certainly you're not taking him for his fielding. All right. Well, you're not giving him any bowling, even though KK says that he's taking a lot of wickets in a lot of other leagues. In DCL, he's not getting any bowling, so he's not being taken as a bowler either. So what is he
Right.
there as? He's as a batsman. Well, if he's not getting any batting, then I have no idea. So going into the game, Satya and I did talk about, okay, if KK comes opening, what are we going to do? And we had a general chat. We didn't go into deep
Mhm.
discussion on that. because if it was a playoff game, we would have had a deeper discussion. But this was like, you know what, let's go out and play. And, we didn't have our best unit there. We'll see what we can do. But there were a few things which we wanted to do. We executed that. But I think let's cover their innings. It was great batting by Maulik. All right. Maulik really batted well. I was very happy to see how he batted, and he really played well. He came determined. But Hitesh was a beast, Parthav. I never expected that level of performance from Hitesh. I have not seen that. So
Yep.
this was an eye opener for me. And I really was pleasantly surprised. And I thought he batted outstanding. All right. Now, everything according to the merit of the ball. See, that's what I care. If you scored 43 by just swinging the bat, I wouldn't rate that too high. But this was perfection. All right. Whatever the bowler gave, depending upon what the bowler gave, he played according to the merit of the ball. So at no point of time did I feel that we could get his wicket, or how do we get his wicket. So that's something which we'll have to work on. Akash, as usual, batted well. But if you ask me, 124 for 7 was a great score. That last over, I think, went for 20 runs or something, or 21, maybe 19 runs or something like that.
18 runs.
18 runs.
18.
Okay, 18 runs. And so it was a higher score than we ever intended to chase. But if you ask me, the game lived up to its billing. Of course, it was 7 for 2. And that too, when you have Anup and Zishan back in the pavilion, you really start wondering whether can we get the job done. But one thing we knew is that we have batting till 11. And if some of them can click, then the good thing is Taif and Udit batted really well. Now, they set up the foundation. Unfortunately, I think with 1 ball to go or 2 balls to go, Taif got out. I think that was the one where KK took the catch. But nevertheless, Taif got out, and that was our 3rd wicket. So at that point of time, we are ahead on. I remember texting and said, guys, we are ahead on wickets, a tad bit behind on the run rate. But I know that with the kind of batting which we have, we can overhaul that run rate in no time. And sure enough, Shan came in and sorry, Satya, can you play those 6 shots? Are you able to do that, or share this thing? But I would like to. We put the 6 shots on our channel. I think Satya put that on the channel. But Shan launched 2 shots, out of the world shots. Absolutely peerless, fantastic shots. He launched the attack and took the fight to the enemy's camp, Parthav. And then Tazwar, I call him the Prince of Detroit, Parthav. And take a look at those 2 shots, and then you'll know why I call him the Prince of Detroit. And then Mohammad Wasim, we had no idea what to expect from him, but he was the power impact player. And then the mother of all shots, Parthiv, mother of all shots came from the great Mansab Butt. All right.
Yep.
And he launched it. And basically, he had a thing to prove to Samish that Samish can't get him out. And but you know what? You almost got him out. You almost got him out because, again, that was half a chance. But again, you probably have to expect the ball is going to come there. I'm not sure if I'm going to blame Brahma for that.
I mean, a better keeper would have got it. I would say it wasn't like a tough chance. I don't think it tempted it. To be honest, I mean, I don't. It just got
Parthiv, I think part of it is the speed at which the ball was coming.
Yep.
Samish's pace has increased this year compared to the previous years. All right. So that is another problem. Is the reflexes have to be lightning quick. Now, if you're MS Dhoni, you would have taken that catch. But MS Dhoni has lightning reflexes too. I think it is in the strategy department that we ran a number on them. Here is the other problem for them, Parthiv. Since 2017, GLCC has never beaten Glad's. And you said this is always a cliffhanger game. This game was a cliffhanger game. But if you take last year's playoff game, that was no cliffhanger. That was a one-sided game. It was as one-sided as it gets. Or if you take even last year's regular season game, that was also a one-sided game. So the thing is that, I think this game, they had their best unit. In fact, you can hear it on the audio where they say that, this is the best unit which we have had this year, with the exception of Gagan Singh. everybody else was there.
Yep.
And whereas I think the bigger problem for them, Parthiv, is Arjun didn't play, Hardeep didn't play. And then there are a couple of other guys who probably will be there in our playoff 11 or playoff 12 or whatever it is. So that changes a lot of things. So I feel pretty confident that if we run into them again, it's a game, Parthiv. When
Yep.
when two champions play against each other, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And I told this to Jagan because Jagan and I had this conversation. It'll be a cracker of a game, and so that's what Jagan also hoped, that it'll be a cracker of a game. But one thing was very clear: one of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose. But
Yep.
I personally absolutely enjoyed the game. All night I could not sleep, Parthiv, because I was waiting for the game. I was waiting for the game. And our good friend KK, even, I don't know, our Glads guys are incredible. They made a meme out of that, of that waving incident. But I don't know. It was a fantastic game. I think
Absolutely.
when those type of games happen, you kind of pinch yourself and say that this is what I play for,
Yep.
uh, and this is what makes it special, kind of a thing. And always for us, playing GLCC is special, only because we know that the kind of players they have, and many of them are world class players or DCL world class players. Let's put it that way. So
That's right.
it's always fun to go against them. But I'm sure next time we play them, we might lose to them. But so that's how the game goes, you know. But there's very little difference between the teams, if you ask me. It's just who executes better on that particular day. That's all.
Yep. And I think I was umpiring the GLCC game as well. I did feel it's definitely kind of structuring. I think this year, and I hope it doesn't happen. What happened with us and Raptors is like you try to form a team, and you start with these kind of stars, and then suddenly you basically, it's a process. Any team that needs to be built is a process. You take a couple of years, 2 3 years for team to gel and team structure to form. You can't expect results right away at in the first season or the first couple of seasons, if I have to say. So I did feel like right now I think they are in that zone where on the field there's more than one captain, there's more than one voice, and that's not something I'm used to seeing at whenever I've seen GLCC. So I think that's probably going to settle down over a period of time, but I hope that they take the time to kind of let it settle down.
Yeah, Satya, do you have those videos, or if you don't, then we'll move on.
It's in the shot.
Videos.
I
You don't? I mean, I'd shared it in to you in
Yeah.
WhatsApp. I mean, the one which you loaded on the website or whatever it is, or the YouTube channel is not that clear.
did.
Huh? I don't know
think
what
there
he
was some
said.
background. No, there's some background.
He's on mute, actually. So,
No, he went on mute because there was background.
oh, is it okay? All right. I guess we should just move on.
Yeah, we can always play that. The next game was a thriller, the Thunderbolts versus FCC, and this is the game that is on chatter in the group because of the no ball controversy. A very close game between two sides who are battling for that place to get out of the that relegation. FCC desperately needed this win because I think with this win they would have made it really really difficult for strikers to come out and even think about just escaping the relegation. But that 1 point will definitely help FCC. But I felt like Thunderbolts were awesome in this game. I mean, yes, they scored that 109 runs courtesy of Gautam and Avinash Reddy. And once they were there, I felt like with looking at the FCC unit and the way they have performed so far, I felt like Thunderbolts definitely had this game under control. But If it wasn't for the last wicket partnership between Karthik and our friend Sujan, it would have been a very easy victory for Thunderbolts. I think FCC made a real dash at it towards the end. Murli and Vinay played a hand. Murli and Nishant, all three of them played a hand. But I think towards the middle and lower order, FCC was definitely looking like they're going to fold out short of the runs. They were 9 for 79, still needing 30 runs. And that last wicket almost got them to that a 28-run partnership between the two. Thunderbolts would have had their heart in their mouth when these two guys were stepping up and nearing it. And added to that, the last wicket was broken by a controversial no ball. Now we've seen the video multiple times, and there's mixed reaction. Some people who've said no ball, some people who have said not a no ball. And I think the consensus, if I felt, was that it was a no ball. I mean, yes, it's difficult to see because you're seeing it from the front angle. The replays are coming from the front angle, so the side angle is always great for no balls. But just by looking at it, it definitely looked like it was above the waist. Now the controversy is, where is this no ball measured? And I think that's what we need to clearly articulate. I think even our friend Avinash, I was surprised that he's confused by the rule as well, because it's clearly at the crease, and doesn't matter if the ball hits the stumps or not. It's where it passes the batsman that is the height that is calculated. And if it's above the waist at the normal batting position, or the batting position of the batsman, obviously we can't calculate every person's height individually, but there's some discretion involved. There's not a lot of technology that we have, but it's the batsman in his upright position at the crease, where the ball passes. That's where the no ball is calculated. And since the no ball takes precedence, if it hits the wicket, it's still a no ball if it passes over the waist. So I just wanted to clear that out. But FCC unlucky to be beaten. Again, they'll take the bonus point. But if this win, if FCC would have won this game, that would have made them in a much better position, maybe even challenge Thunders for the relegation. Yes, Viju.
Yeah, Parthu. So your call is that it is a no ball.
Yes, I felt.
Okay.
I mean, looking at it front angle, it looked like a no ball.
Yeah, again, Parthu, again, if you read the rule book, and especially the DCL rule book, it's not even the popping crease, that's the sad part of it. I honestly feel standing at the popping crease, if it is above the waist, then it is a no ball, because and in this particular case, I think it is a no ball based, but I'm not an expert in camera angles and things like that. But just felt that the way, at the point at which it crossed, it seemed like a no ball to me based on the height standing at the crease. But he was a couple of, maybe about a yard in front of the crease. Okay, one leg was on the crease and one leg was a little forward. So this is where the question then becomes, if the player is outside the crease, then do we look at it whether it is above his waist? That's where I think the DCL rulebook needs to change that. And that means the umpire has to even more make a calculated decision. What if the player went 2 feet forward? Now, was that ball dipping? I do not know. So these are, I do not know. But I think, yes, there's a lot of gray area there. But I think personally, if you ask me, yeah, I think it's a no ball. But at the same time, I always feel that if a ball crashes into the stump, that's out, man. That's out. Simple as that, Yeah. After all, it crashed into the stump, So it was not, was it really that unplayable? I mean, that becomes the next question. I mean, after all, it crashed into the stump. So how did it crash into the stump? That tells me it's not that unplayable. So I do not know. But the way, let's put it this way: the way it is stated in the rule book, if I'm the leg umpire, I'll have no choice but to call that a no ball. That's just what. Do I agree with it because it crashed into the stumps? That's where I'm having the difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I mean, it is very rare that you get a no ball and it crashes into the stumps, unless it's like a loopy that trajectory which comes from, as a spinner, you get it from the top to the bottom, you dip on it. Very rarely do you actually see such cases, but I've seen such cases where the no balls have crashed into the stumps, and the rule is clear. But in IPL and other places, there is technology to assist, because then you can measure. They can superimpose the image of a
Yeah.
batsman at the crease and then measure it that way. We don't have that, so there is always going to be some amount of discretion. But I don't think FCC should be too hard on, like going and complaining it to the committee or things like that. I don't think it's that big an issue. It's still umpire's discretion. Yes, they might feel that it wasn't called a no ball, but I truly think it's up to the umpire at that point of time, how he sees it at that angle, and where he's standing. So yes, probably a no ball shouldn't have decided the game in the first place, but so be it. I mean, FCC should be disappointed, but I don't think they should be bitter about it.
Yeah, I agree, Partha. But here's the problem. Now that you brought this official complaint from Stingers
Yeah,
into the thing, the FCC would be very tempted to say that, hey, let's file an official complaint and test our luck there. But this is why
yeah,
we have all our experience hand have been saying, no, no, no,
right,
no. Let the game be decided on the field and be done with
right.
it. That ends up being more respectable and palatable for everybody.
Mhm. That's
But
true. I think that's something which we always exercise when in the committee. Is like, I think that was our underlying rule of thumb, that as long as we don't want to get into any issue without really needing to get into an issue. If things can get settled on the field with the umpires, I think that's something which we always want to do. We don't want committee to take decisions sitting at their homes without knowing all the facts. So the umpires do play a very big role in deciding the outcome. But sometimes these calls, we've had all of us have such calls, so it should be left to the players and the umpires at that time. Yes, you are disappointed with some calls, but you got to take it, swallow it. It all evens out. That's what I've heard at the
yeah,
end of.
and Parthu, that's why even with Jagan, when I was having the conversation, I requested Jagan, use every influence that you can and be a peacemaker and try to make peace between Alagu and Stingers and Indus Thunders. And I wanted that peace to happen, and whatever needs to somehow, if you guys can settle it out and not drag it out, let things, because it's best for the league, it's best for Alagu and company, and it's best for this thing, the points. If you want, play another game and settle it out and decide it and be done with the whole thing. That way it is, everybody has I mean, at this point, the way it is going, if we have to believe whatever was sent to us, then that becomes a problem. But anyway,
Yep,
let's move on.
yep. We have one more game to cover, which is the Stars and KRCC, and this was another game which lived up to its expectation. A star-studded game. We all knew what the two teams are bringing on. Stars have had a stop-start season. They started poorly, but I think now they are back on track with a lot of wins. They look comfortable. They look like the Stars of the old. But they ran into KRCC, which also has had a mixed season. I mean, they have had, and their season has always been based on availability. Whenever they've had the availability of all their players, they look a different unit as compared to some of the times when they play with 9 and 10 players. They struggle, and they've lost a couple of matches because of those player availability. But in this game, I think it was a stellar effort from KRCC. I think once, even after the Star scoring 130, they chased that 130 with great ease. I mean, it was at any point of time, it didn't look like KRCC was in trouble. I mean, the way Raza and Mujtaba played a very calm innings, run a ball innings, almost 100% strike rate, and coupled by those starts at the top. And we all know KRCC guys are capable of hitting the big shot. So every now and then, you can expect some big hitting from them. But I think Stars, I felt were lacking and really missing Ravi Teja in their services. I think his presence makes a huge difference. And I was surprised that without his inclusion or without his playing, they were even able to score those 130 runs. But Vaidur Rahman and Sarath, along with Sai Kuradi, I think they stitched decent batting effort, 130 runs, and then I think they lacked, as I mentioned, Ravi Teja not only in just his bowling, batting, but also his bowling. I think one of the things that I've seen Stars struggle this year without Deepak being there, I think they've struggled with their bowling a little bit. Yes, they still have some good bowlers, but I think it isn't the Stars unit, the bowling unit that they once had with Ravi Teja and Deepak. I think those two guys, Ravi, I think still carries some niggle. What I've heard, so he's not bowling that often. But with Deepak not being there, I think bowling does look a little vulnerable to me. And I'm pretty sure come playoffs, that's something that teams are going to exploit. But KRCC look a strong unit, as I mentioned. Once they have all the players, I think this was a great effort by especially Raza. I would like to call him out. I think he's like the coolest, calmest guy in KRCC. I think he takes a lot of burden and a lot of leadership, even though he's not the official captain. He's like the pseudo captain of KRCC. He does a lot of strategy and a lot of calling of the shots on the field. So great game. KRCC winning the game comfortably, and looking forward to both of these teams in playoffs.
Partha, I have a lot of notes written for this one, but I'm just going to focus on the main thing. We are already over time. Partha, if you tell me that Stars scored 130 for 8 in 25 overs and that KRCC's Tamim Oni cuts out on the very first ball, I would have told you KRCC has no chance in hell to win the game. All right. But what I saw from Raza and Haider, and if they can bat like how they batted in this game, Syed Mujtaba Haider, I do not know if you realize that, but they are brothers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, even though their names are different, but as far as I know, they are brothers. Syed Mujtaba Haider, 45 and 40, and Raza Ali, 34 and 45. And if they bat like that, I would say that there is every chance in heaven. Now, other one was hell. This is every chance in heaven that they will win the game. This was a clinical chase, Partha, absolutely clinical. It was a cracker of a game. But if you ask me, Stars should be proud of themselves because I thought they played well. Okay. Now, sometimes your opponent plays better than you. What can you do? You get my point? You just have to accept it and move on and live another day. You get my point? Maybe the next day you'll play better than them. That's the takeaway I would take away from both Glad's GLCC and Stars KRCC. Both of them were crackers, which came down to the last over. You see, Stars should be proud, and KRCC should be even more prouder. But the fact that Haider and Raza bat like this, Partha, that creates a problem for every other team in the league. Now, the question is, how do you beat these guys? It's going to take a superhuman special effort to beat them. That's my. I think Yogi Bhai has a fabulous team on his hands, which is capable of winning the championship any day.
Yep.
Now, can anybody beat them? I do not know. Only time will tell. Now, this is where strategy and being able to, on that particular game day, raise the level of your game and all those things come into effect. But I'll be honest with you. I tell whatever is on my mind. If you ask me, are you looking forward to seeing KRCC? The answer is no. Okay. Discretion is the better part of valor. I hope that Kaushik Chapadi has a game like how he had last year and takes KRCC out. Okay. But I don't see anybody taking KRCC out. I mean, it's going to be very difficult. It'll require a special effort, but there are 3, 4 teams which can produce that kind of special effort. But it's going to be a very tough ask.
Yep. I think it's going to be tough. It's going. I mean, again, I think picking against KRCC is tough, but KRCC, I always feel they are like a unit that is so unpredictable. They can beat the hell out of people, and on a day, but on a day they're very vulnerable as well. So any team that goes against KRCC, I'm pretty sure the crowd is going to be with them. I can 110% vouch for that. That KRCC is definitely not a team that has still a lot of fan following. So that is something that can play.
But part of that, I think, has more to do not with KRCC. It's more like, you know what, whoever is the favorite, people are always going to be
Yeah.
probably in the in the
Always,
camp.
people always
I
want
mean,
the underdog.
I can assure you, Glad's plays Pokeries. Everybody will be on the Pokeries camp, including probably our own parents also. You know, so I mean that comes with this thing. I mean, if you haven't won it and you know you're the
I think it's
underdog,
all
we all gravitate towards the underdog. Simple as that.
support. Whoa, why am I getting low bandwidth?
Okay. Well, I think we should go to the predictions and stuff like that.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You probably, I don't know what Parthu obviously can't see us, even though we can see him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
All right,
Yes.
drop out and reconnect, Parthu, if you can hear us. All right,
right.
Satya, I don't.
Oh, I don't know what's happening. I'm in and out, going in and out.
Are you able to hear us?
Now I am, but suddenly it went
Okay.
low bandwidth or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
this was the same problem I had earlier, where you were frozen up, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay. Anyways, yeah, we were almost ending,
Okay.
going to the predictions.
Yeah. So these are a couple of those dots.
My God.
Sorry.
All right, Parthiv, this is the Shan shot, all right? Effortless shot. I don't know if you can see it.
I can't see it.
It's blur. Yeah. You can't see it?
No, I'm.
You're breaking in and out, Parthiv. Well, anyway, to describe, that was the effortless shot and the peerless shots. He set the, I think he got the game going for us. What are we doing now?
Wasim.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, Parthiv, if you can see this is the punch shot. I don't know how this ball went for 6. I have no clue. When he hit the shot, I thought he was out caught at the boundary. But if you look at his biceps, you know that if he hits a ball, the ball is going to stay hit. And well, this is the Prince of Detroit, Parthiv. I don't know if we can see it. The Prince of Detroit. I mean, that is a majestic shot.
Yeah.
And then he hits. Then he hits a second shot, and watch this shot. This shot. The second shot is even better than the first shot. If you thought the first shot was good, you wait and see this second shot. And I absolutely fell in love with this guy.
Who is this? Udit?
Nope. This is a guy, but look at that shot. I mean, this is like an international level type of a shot. I mean, but we have a guy called Taifur Rahman, and the guy is very capable of unearthing good talent. And he brought him, and he said, Viju, guy is very good, so take him. And and then this is the mother of all shots. This is the one where I do not know if you see him celebrating after hitting the six. That is some celebration, and so and there you go. He whacked it, and yeah, he was in a different world after that.
Okay.
All
So
right.
One sub shot.
I think still Gaba and Parthiv yet to record, so I'm not disclosing ours. So let us
Oh, is
go
it
with
okay?
our team. So it's
If
Miles, local
Gaba
boys,
hasn't
mostly
if
Miles.
Gaba hasn't recorded anything, maybe we should penalize him. That's the only way for us to catch up with him.
Man, I lose track of it as well many times. I just forget.
Mhm.
All right. So what's the deal?
So
MCC Miles, local boys, the smart
Miles.
smart money is on MCC Miles. All right.
Yeah, it's must win for
Fight
them, right? So
fighters, knockers, the smart money is on fighters.
yeah,
And then what is that? Detroit Bulls and
Bulls,
Dynamites.
Dynamites, most
All right.
Bulls.
So the smart money is on Detroit Bulls, even though Vijay Shanmugam is bringing his top guns. All right. I don't
Raptors,
think Vijay
Thunders.
Shanmugam, Raptors, Thunders. Well, that game probably is not happening. I do not
Yeah,
know
so it doesn't
based on
matter.
whatever
It will
we
be
heard. So maybe
full point goes to
the
anybody.
people who voted Thunders probably should go and change their vote then.
That's okay. I'll
Why
give
is that
full
not?
points. If it doesn't
Huh?
happen, we'll give points everybody.
Oh, you mean okay? Thunder's withdrawing. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
we will.
yeah. No, I mean, I'm basing it on whatever was revealed to us, right? That there will be an official email going from
Okay.
the Thunder skipper is what we were told. But I hope that better sense will prevail upon the committee and everybody else to ward off an unnecessary sad turn of events. Well, GLCC is playing who? That they are 100%?
Have to see.
GLCC. I
Is
think
playing
they're
who?
playing Hawks.
Oh, GLCC is playing Hawks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Mr. Kurup and Mr. Pasula should do what they did last game, 76 or 77 for 10 or for no loss. Okay.
Yeah.
FCC strikers, Parthav, did you vote for FCC?
No, this game at least I voted for my
Hey,
team.
Viju, Dinesh is on the call.
Oh, yeah.
Parthav, we have Dinesh on the call. Do we really want to join this? This will be a good time for us to interview him. This is the extra segment.
I wish. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he. I don't know if he's.
He's here. He's there. You can't
Oh,
see him?
Hey,
yeah. I
Dinesh.
see him.
He probably needs to turn on his camera so that right now we
Yeah,
only see D.
Hey, hey guys, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, but all right, okay. Good to
I'm
see you,
outside in
Dinesh.
a car. Hey, good to see you, Viju. We never had a chance to talk, but
Okay.
glad to be in the meeting and good to see you.
All right, now I've seen you bowl, and I'm mighty impressed with the bowling. So, especially as long as it is to KK, and as long as it is KK stumps which is flying, I have no problems with that.
Hey, welcome, Dinesh.
Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Dinesh,
I'm not sure if I'm already late to the show. Just Abhi just told me, Abhi just sent me this link. I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, was
No,
too
we
late
were just going to wind up the show. We were
Sure.
expecting you earlier, but we did want to give you all the opportunity to present your side of the story, because many of us
Sure.
are interested to hear the actual events as it took place. All right.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Yes.
it is important that the entire league knows about it. And I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
this video is going to be played many times over. And I'm sure many people are going to come back and start wondering why it happened or what it happened. And the committee probably will have that's their problem to deal with.
Yeah,
But nevertheless, it is important that the truth get out. And so
for sure,
here
for
is an
sure.
opportunity to get the truth out. But I'm going to let Parthiv drive this thing because he is the host. And I will
Sure.
ask you questions as we go along so that if he misses something out, I will just comment. Because what we are
Definitely,
trying to do, Dinesh, is explain to us and take us through the sequence of events is what we are trying to get at so that you can get the Indus side of the story out. I mean, I think it is
Yeah.
important that not just competitors like me or Parthiv or even stalwarts who have been in the league, they should get to know the true story. Let the story come out and let the public make their own decision. So Parthiv, I'll
Sure,
let
sure.
you drive and you ask
Yeah.
Dinesh whatever questions you want because you are the host. And so I'm yielding the floor to you.
Thank you. All right, Dinesh. First of all, thank you for joining. I know it's been a couple of tough weeks for you guys. All these rumors and all these issues that have been taking place. But yes, we would like to know from you what the issue was, how it we arrived at this verdict, and how it kind of snowballed. I mean, I feel it snowballed into out of proportion because, to be honest, we were discussing in the show this issue is not something that has happened the first time. It's happened multiple times. I was in the committee before last year, and I've come across this issue of many times where a player gets added or plays at the last minute. So I'm still very confused, and I'm sure a lot of people are confused as to what the actual issue was. So if you can probably replay the issue, I think that will help us clearly.
Sure. So I'll start with the actual conflict that I had, the player. So when I add a player to the roster, or so we have like two columns in the cricket clubs, right? We select the list
Right.
and then we move to the right side. So I did
Yep.
add Harsha Polavarupu. I only found one profile name, their player name, and then I added to the roster. And then when I checked the team, in the team roster. So the profile is added, but there is no picture of Harsha Polavarupu, and it says a red question mark. That means it's not verified. And then I asked
Oh.
Harsha. So Harsha has been playing. I mean, he's an old guy. I mean, not in the age, but he's been playing.
Yeah.
He's been there in Michigan.
Yeah.
Then I asked Harsha. It says this profile. It was tagged to some the old team. Then I asked Harsha. So this is what it is displaying in the list. Is it the same profile that you have? Then he said, no, I have been playing all over. So he plays Michigan and everywhere, every year. And he showed me that he has a different profile with picture and everything is verified. Then that's when, but I don't see that in the players list that captain can add to the roster. That's
Right.
when I told Alagu that there is a conflict. I showed Harsha also that right after the toss, or maybe at the toss. So there is a conflict. I couldn't add the verified profile. I added one profile, but because there was a lot of things going on, right? If I added unverified player and all, so why to take a chance is what running in my mind. I told Alagu, so this is what happening. Then he said it's fine. You can add it later, not a problem. And then we were fielding first, so I had to go and field it and all those things, right? And then Alagu had to pick the playing 12 on both sides, right? Because they were batting first. And he
Yeah.
picked his 12, and then while picking the 12, so we could only pick 11. So that's when I showed Alagu. So the conflict in this matter is that particular guy who was fielding on the first slip. I pointed him, so he is the guy. And then we also shared the video that I was pointing towards the person. And Alagu in that video, you guys can hear also that you can add him later. Then I was saying that, okay, I will add it later. And then I continued bowling. And then we finished our first bowling innings. And then we went into the batting side, right? That's when I asked Harsha to register. There is a manual way of registering into the roster, right? There is a link that he can climb the profile and he can register it.
Yeah.
So he did that while batting. So he was in the roster. But I don't know the cricket clubs thing, right? Since I don't know, it's a glitch from cricket clubs, or it's half innings is done. While we were batting, I tried to add a 12th player. Since we declared already 11 and game continued, I did not see an option to add a 12th player then. And it was right at the starting of the game, maybe like 5-10 minutes into the second innings, right? And then we didn't expect the game to go that long because we were cruising, and then all of a sudden the wicket fall, all those things happened, and we had to send a last guy. Harsha was right next to me, and then I said Harsha to go inside. When Harsha went inside, I remembered Harsha is not in the playing 12. I didn't want to call him back. Once I sent him into the field, I didn't want to call him back. And then I added on Ravi Ganta's name. Later, I had to send an email to, because I have an impression that, umpire was informed by, I did not inform, but Ravi informed umpire, and I informed Alagu. Alagu was like, he was okay. He was like, okay, you can do it later, and, I have no issues. So that was in my mind, and I continued and I added. And ironically, we won with the wides. Harsha didn't even bat, if at all. So I'll talk about it later. But this was the issue. So right after the game, I had a serious emergency at home, India. I had to follow up many things. It was very critical emergency there. So I had to take care of many things. I didn't send an email right after the game. And by the time I wind up all my Indian emergency stuff and all, I sent an email on Wednesday that there was a scorecard correction. I couldn't add a 12th player. Please unlock the scorecard so that I can correct the scorecard. And by then I didn't even know what was happening behind and all those things. So after I sent an email on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning, Jagan sends me an email saying that there was a complaint raised by Alagu saying that you made Harsha play on Ravi Ganta's name. Can you explain this violation? Then I was shocked first because the person who agreed to do all those things, he filed a complaint. And then I said, Jagan, it was well communicated. Maybe, I was, crossing those deadlines of sending a scorecard correction, all those things by a few hours. But I didn't do any blunders or, I didn't do a match awarding, match losing mistakes in that game. I followed bare minimum protocols, knowing that, I'm not, I don't have a history of doing captaincy in DCL. I just come and play. I don't know all these things. I just went with by Alagu's word, and it was a shock to me that the same guy is making a complaint. And that's what that was. And I also shared some of the screenshots from the video that Harsha has been playing from the. He was actively in the field. The 25 overs he fielded. There was no objection whatsoever. And then I don't know what happened after. I think a couple of weeks, Jagan called for a meeting, all-party meeting. And then from Indus, I went, and then Alagu came. Umpires did not show up there. By then, umpires also given a summary. I will share the umpire summary because I asked committee to share, they didn't share, and then I asked umpire to share your summary. He shared it. So when I went there, I didn't know the umpire summary.
Who were the umpires, Dinesh?
Nag from Glads and
okay.
Satish Mani from Pokeris. He was a little bit late. He was not there during the toss. He was, I think, 5-10 minutes late. So he didn't know these things happened. And, and then I went to the meeting, and I also said in the same game, another thing happened that, so we were fielding first, right? So Rahul Shivapujay had to leave because of his, kid's medical emergency or something. I myself told umpire, so because he will not come back, because it's something serious thing that he has to take care, right? I said, I went to the umpire and said, he's leaving, we'll play with 9. All these rules are all, meant to be make fair play. I wouldn't have to tell umpire that, Rahul is leaving, that I would let Alagu to, find out that one person is leaving, and then I'll make him do all the drill, right? We never had that intention to do a foul play or anything. And then I myself told that, we'll play with only 9 wickets. And then since that came to that long that we lost 8 wickets, now Alagu is complaining that they made a player without registering into the team and all those things. That was surprising to me. And in the meeting with Jagan one-on-one, I asked Alagu, didn't I tell you in the beginning? And he says, you told me that there is a conflict, but you didn't tell me the exact player. What in the hell is that? We see, if I tell you something and, if I declare 12 players, instead of Harsha Polvarpu, I would have declared some X person as a 12. And if I made him play on the 12th player, that's my desperate mistake. I only declared 11. I informed you there is a conflict of profiles of the 12th player. And then whoever not in the 12th, the guy who is not in the list is the 12th man, right? That's an obvious thing. and you agreed to that in the beginning of it. And I don't know what is that means, that even committee is forcing that you informed the umpire, but you did not tell this particular player name you did not mention. I don't know. I mean, it's basic sense that we only declared 11. We didn't declare a 12th man with a different name. And that's how the discussion was. And then I asked Alagu, see, I really don't know what to say to you, because I mean, I cannot put a word in your mouth and make you say the truth, right? If you are lying, it's your call. I cannot make you do whatever I wanted you to say. I mean, you are not saying the truth. It's up to you, because. And then I also told committee that we were. I mean, there was like a lot of things happened against Indus, and we never complained, because all to me it's a game, it's a recreation to me. And I didn't get a American visa to come here play DCL. My visa is to do something else, and this is a recreation. And then to relieve all my 5-day pressure, I come to the ground, I play, I cherish the moments. This is something like overwhelming to me. Maybe that's my perception. So I was shocked, to deal all these things. I was a little bit, not very happy with all the things, dealing the things. And I didn't even argue much there also. I had a lot of points to argue there also. And what's the point, right? And one-on-one meeting, that meeting, Alagu also looked convinced. I asked Alagu, see, as a courtesy call, see, I didn't do any blunders. I was not desperate to cheat or anything. I followed bare minimum protocols. Maybe one or two things I missed. For that, taking the game away, that who came to the, leaving families behind and come to the ground and spent like 4 or 5 hours there, and it's not fair. If you and I also told company and committee. So Jagan called me to one of the shows, and then he asked me all these things. Then I said the same thing, Jagan. See, if you really find that that's my mistake, put a fine on me. If you really think that I'm on the false side, or I did a mistake, put a fine on me, or ban me 1 game or 2. But whole team, because we didn't do any obvious mistakes there. Match losing mistakes, we did not commit anything. Everything was communicated and everything was proper. Just that it was, one, they are taking a literal meaning of the rule. I mean, if we take like that, there will be like 50% of the games cannot be played, and the cutoff time is 9:30. How many games we have seen playing after 9:30? Yep. And I don't know why guys are taking too much serious on the rules. I mean, enjoy the game and play and I don't know.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think not only you, I think a lot of people are disappointed and shocked with what has happened. And to be honest, I mean, we are on the same page that Indus has a clean reputation. You guys have played for so many years. We've played against each other so many years. We know you guys so well. And I don't think this issue, and hearing from you as well as what we've heard, I personally don't think there was any ill intent, that you intended to do. Like, there was no purpose.
So the rule book is meant to avoid these foul play or wrongdoings, right?
Yes.
And
correct.
They couldn't even tell us like what was the wrongdoing there, except that the player was not registered and played. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to us.
Yeah, those things, I mean, to be honest, back like maybe 7-8 years ago or 10 years ago, we used to exchange notepad or a piece of paper for the 12. There wasn't any electronic scoring card and all those kinds of things. So at that time it was just a name, and I don't think we even verified. So to be honest, that there was a lot more trust and stuff. And I'm very surprised that in front Alagu would use such a thing to get points, because to be honest, we all play this game. Yes, we play hard on the field, but to be honest, it's just a game, and we need to be flexible. And the committee, I'm more shocked that the committee was handed down such a stiff penalty of 5 points. And that is something which I don't know if you argued strong enough to the committee, because I agree. I think if there is a fine, probably the captain gets a fine a little bit, gets maybe $50, whatever the case may be. But it's hard to kind of see a whole team getting penalized 5 points.
Yeah, I told this in the DCL radio when he called, and Pradeep was there, and I think Rahul, he was there, and in the radio show itself I told, and the other two panelists, Pradeep and Rahul, they were also saying the same thing. I mean, you cannot make judgments outside the field. It should be there and then.
So I'm going to ask you a straight question. When you present it to the jury or to the committee. Did you feel like the present committee members had any kind of bias against their decision, against especially Thunders, because whatever the case,
Because
they might be.
I personally did not attend because I was like traveling. I was in flight, and Manoj and Ravi Ganta,
Okay.
attended the meeting. And another thing, the biggest disappointment for the jury thing, right? So I felt like Indus became a joke there. I'll tell you why. So these guys, committee, they gave a decision saying that you did not follow the rule book. Whatever, right? The decision came, and then I presented all the things. So see, all the rules are meant to make these things happen. Make these right things happen, right? We didn't do any foul play. We didn't commit any match losing mistakes. So why you are so harsh on this and all those things, right? And then I sent like sequence of emails, bunch of emails and all those things, evidences and all those things. Then Jagan comes to me and he constituted. He said like we are putting an independent jury and all those things, and he set an agenda. That's again a joke to me. I'll tell you why. So he said points, and Indus will present their case, Singers will present their case, and then Zuri will decide. And then we presented everything, the video evidences, and then umpire summary. If you can give me 1 second, I'll share you, Padhi. I think I have your number.
Yeah.
Umpire summary.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Who's sharing the screen? Do you want it to be shared
No,
on the
no,
screen?
I think
I'm
he's
on
talking
call.
about.
I'm on phone.
He's going to share it on your WhatsApp, is what I understood it as.
Yes.
Parthiv.
I'll share the because
And
it
then
was public anyway. So
and then
everybody was in
you can read it, is what I think he's trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just sent you in the WhatsApp, Padhi, the umpire summary.
Okay.
And then I also sent a video to Abhi. I'm not sure if that video was shared. So we made our presentation and all those things. After listening to half hour, 45 minutes or whatever, and then Zuri comes and says Indus lost the game with 2-1. And then Manoj asks, what is the reason? Then he says according to the rule book. What? See, according to the rule book, committee already made a decision. Jury is made to reevaluate the situation, and then is there any foul play or anything to evaluate? Is there an exact wrongdoing happened, or jury is meant to evaluate these things, not just come and say it's a rule book. Why the hell jury is there to do all these things, right? Why the jury is constituted? If that is the case, why you have to waste all of our times? It's been like happening all back and forth emails, and everybody has to come. It's not like it's our regular job, right? Everybody has to spend time there and come out of their family times, and it became a joke. Is Indus became a joke to you, committee? I'm asking. It's why you are making guilty 2 times the same thing you are saying. Jury comes and says as per rule book. Why? What is that? Is that even making a sense to make an independent jury saying that rule book? All that jury is constituted to, find out, is there a foul play? Is there a really, desperate intent to, make these things happen? That guy Rajesh, I don't know. He's another genius. He says that there is nothing is documented. Do I have to write a note that everything was a verbal communication? Nothing was documented. I don't know from which,
Yeah, I agree. This is taking into a different zone. We are not doing legal.
Yeah.
This.
No, it's but it's not just
That's
me.
what
It's
jury
another
asked.
frustration.
Do you have any confirmation from them that they are accepting this? Like when Manoj was presenting, that's what jury is asking. Like, do you have any written confirmation? Like, how you will get written confirmation?
Man, there are so many things that we have not had
No,
written
all my point is why jury is saying as per rule book. What is the purpose of putting a jury there? Is it to read a rule book?
Yeah.
And also
if that is
Manoj
the case,
requested for regame. When Manoj requested regame, like at least give it as regame, we will play as requested. But jury said, "Oh, we are not here to make a regame decision. We are only here to make 5-point decision." Like they cannot do the regame decision here.
So
they're
that
saying
means they've already decided on the
yes,
outcome.
they already decided and came there.
And another thing I was told this is another thing. So Manoj and Ravi went ahead of time, knowing that it was at 6. They went there and Jagan was there. And then Manoj asks Jagan, is there any of these information shared with jury? And then Jagan says the initial communication was shared with Zuri. I don't know. I mean, what is the purpose of sharing that? Zuri should come with a blank mind and listen our case and then do the justice, right? And another thing, so he constituted a Zuri, and two of the members who voted against us is what, I don't know. I mean, nobody tells that, but I assuming, those two traveled together before the Zuri thing happened. I don't know. Is it something? I mean, this is all my speculations. I'm not putting anybody under the light,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah, this is
I'm first of all, why the committee has shared some information about this? Why not the whole thing?
yeah. They shouldn't
I
actually.
don't
They
know.
shouldn't have shared anything for that matter. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
if you
And then what's the purpose of jury then?
right, you should basically just know. I mean, hear it out in the for a call or the meeting itself.
Yeah.
So
And another
So,
yeah,
biggest thing I am surprised is jury reading a rule book. I don't know.
I mean that's these all sound very very legal kind of things that take place. I mean, again, I go back to the issue at hand is just that someone forgets to add a player or isn't able to add a player before the game, and the player shows up at the morning, and this issue has happened multiple times. That's my point, is like I don't think this has happened this the first time and Indus has forgotten or Indus has not been able to register. It has happened multiple times. I have got calls in the morning to
Yeah.
for players to be added into the roster or being able to do, and we've accommodated. So it's always been that we are finding ways to accommodate players rather than trying to be the other way around where we are trying to put rules to avoid people from playing. So I'm very surprised that the committee has gone against that, what we were following before.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Dinesh, the problem is, I think Parthiv, if you watched the show earlier, talked about a
Mhm.
similar incident between
Yep.
GLCC and Dynamites, and the player was not even on this thing, and the player was
The
added.
only
So,
the only difference was that they were able to add the player right there because they called the opposition captain, sorry, the former team, like Dynamites was where he belonged, and they were able to release him, and then this GLCC was able to add them in that span of 15 minutes. So that phone call and all those things happened, and they were able to do it digitally on the app, so everything got resolved after that. But
If
in
the
this
opposite in my case, if opposite captain or umpire objected, it only takes me like 2-3 minutes to
Yeah,
hide it there. And maybe
correct.
this GLCC and Dynamite's game, they are doing it because this happened. They don't want
Yes,
anything.
yes, yes,
If this
exactly. I
wouldn't
mean,
have happened, they wouldn't have done that. They just continue
correct.
doing it and then they resolve it backhand.
Correct. Yep. And we actually talked about it. We actually talked about, I mean, I remember because I knew about this incident and we said, like, it's just happened. So I want to make sure we don't do the same mistake again.
And
So,
another thing, right? I in the captain's group. So Teju from the committee, I remember, after this game, after the Stringers game, he said the roster will be locked on Friday evening. There is no more additions. I can take a screenshot on how the hell they added in the game day. What is that? I
yep.
mean, is there something different for these guys who are in the committee? How can they add on the game day? So it was a message. I can give you a screenshot in the captain's group. So the rosters will be locked by 9 p.m. Friday. So there means there will be no more additions.
Dinesh, what you're saying is, if that message from Teju went that the rosters will be locked on Friday, then
Yeah.
whatever Parthiv experienced on Saturday morning for GLCC and
While
Dynamites should not have happened at all because the roster is
yeah,
locked. Then how
yeah,
in the
Yep.
world are you
yeah. How in the
this
world
thing?
they are adding? Isn't
So
it?
So
Isn't it?
that is
okay,
exactly. So when the,
no. So that's a very valid point, right? So here you are
yeah,
having, Partha, if you really look at it, you are having a different set of rules for two committee member teams and a
Mhm,
different set of rules for, see, that will not fly anywhere. You get my point? And this is
mhm.
the same problem which we had with Stingers too, where we had the player and we ended up playing with 10 even though we had sent the waiver way long time back. Comes back to the same thing. Are you trying to stop a player from playing, or are you going to allow the player to play? I mean, why are you finding reasons why not to allow a player? It basically takes away the credibility of the league.
Yeah. The only difference in the scenario with GLCs and Dynamites is that that the captain and the umpires were all involved. I think that's what Alagu is basing his case on, that he wasn't informed or wasn't informed of the details. And
This then becomes a question of
Parthiv, I
he
just
said.
sent you a screenshot in your. It
okay,
was from the captain's group. It was on June 10th. Teju Kumar Srinivas.
Yeah.
He sends.
Yeah.
Just read that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This particular one came out after Glad's game issue. Like Sting first Indus, then the next week itself the Glads had the same issue. Then immediately Tejas sent our 9 o'clock it will be locked. The next following
Yeah.
week, like June first week he sent it out because we.
No, I sent with the date. It was on June 10th.
Yeah.
So
I sent a
I think
screenshot to Parthiv with the date. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What
I think
is the
this was
penalty for? No, I am asking every captain who are listening. What is the penalty for Dynamites and GLCC then?
Yes, I think there is. See, that's the thing, that there are some small nuances which are there. So this exact thing, I think KK showed me, and it said no new player approvals, which means that if there is a brand new player, if somebody has played DCL and has a profile, maybe it's for some other team, you can add it to your roster at any point of time. But if there are player approvals, like
But
if a new
Parthiv, let me
player,
ask you this question.
that's the
Somebody
fine
has
line.
played. No, Parthiv. I think you're digressing there. Somebody played for some other team. Let's say played for Strikers, and I'm adding it. It's a new player for my team.
Yes,
Who
it's a
cares
new
whether
player.
on my roster it's a brand new player, right?
Right.
He might have played for Strikers. What difference does it make? What is the difference between that and somebody else?
The difference is, as I'm reading and as was explained to me, was that no new approvals. That means if a player is not registered with DCL, the committee is not going to approve it on Saturday morning, like after Friday 9 p.m. So no approvals will go through. If the player is approved,
no, Parthiv, a player has to be approved for your team.
Yeah.
When we add a player, it is for your team. You are adding that player.
Yes,
that has to get approved.
No, there is no committee. As far as I know,
if he's
there's no
already
committee.
in the registered list, they can pull him in the roster.
I know, but you have to send the waiver, right? You have to send the waiver and get their approval.
That is just a
That
form.
is a separate
that
process.
Can be done. That's a separate
process.
So
for existing profiles and existing players who have played DCL before, there is no approvals required. It's a brand new player that approvals are,
But Dinesh is saying that Harsha is not a brand new player.
Yeah, he's been there. Yeah.
So I think what is changing then? The message that Dinesh has forwarded about the approvals, which reads that team rosters will be frozen by Friday 9 p.m. No new approvals will be granted after this time. That applies to new player profiles. That's what the committee will argue, right? The committee will say.
Yeah, they argue for their convenience, but
yeah.
No, so basically
what does roster freeze means? What does roster freeze means?
Yeah, exactly. I mean that can be debatable, because if you see even the few points down below, the game day protocol, we kindly request that no captains, vice captains, umpires, or any individuals contact committee members on game day regarding approval of new players, clarification of rules. Those are the 2 points, but it says approval of new players. Now again, that's there's a gray line, because as Viju interpreted, it could be any new players to your roster, not necessarily new players to DCL. So
Parthiv, at the end of the day, it's all about common sense, and it's all about are we trying to see? I mean, I want to play your best team. You bring your players, and let's play the game and be done with it. Why do I have to try to beat you with 10 players and 9 players and all these other things?
To be honest, like, what is the use of these 5 points? Like, I don't care about points. I mean, I'm playing to play against some of the good players. I mean, I have a good competition, and go back home satisfied that we played a good game. I mean, I don't think I care about the 5 points. Yes, as you want to win championships, you want to do something, but at the end of it, it is all about that. So winning 5 points this way is just wrong. I'm
so Parthiv, you, me, Vadnala, all of us are KK, all of us are seeing the same thing. All of us are singing the same song, which is that this is not the way to win points. right? I mean, every one of us, and every common sense, this thing, you'll say that this is not the way to win points. You have to play it on the game, play it
Yep.
on the field, and decide it. I mean, if there was fraud, it's a different thing. But this is, we are talking about a player who you have already pointed it out. So that's not making a whole lot of sense.
So now the question I think everybody wants to hear, after we've heard that Indus is planning on not continuing anymore. How true is that? Are you guys taking that stand?
We are still debating. I think we are
Okay.
leaning towards that because I mean, after all, we need some respect. We respected.
Yeah.
As an Indus, we never filed any complaints. There was like, many things happened against us. But we never complained. I mean, see, what's the point, right? I mean, you come play and then go after. I mean, see, I mean, the people who know little about me, I am like furious in the ground, right? I fight with people, and after once that game is done, I go shake hand, and maybe
Absolutely.
Viju, you can talk to Hardeep Bhai. I fight Hardeep Bhai with like anything, but after the game, I shake hand, and then like I'm very cordial to him. Like I have many people. I fight in the ground like crazy. And then once the game is done, it's done. I mean, it's what are you getting out of it, right? I mean, you have a next new day, starting next
Right.
morning. I mean, you don't have to carry anything from there. It's just a recreation, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's what I see as a cricket for me, at least, And then
So
because of
now I was
yeah,
going to
because of
say, I mean,
yeah.
we as a community, as people who have played DCL would definitely request Indus to reconsider that decision. I know things are harsh, and things are not going in the favor, and I'm pretty sure you guys are disappointed with how the committee and how the decision is done. But considering the broader community and the people who want you to guys to be there, I would definitely urge to think about it, and maybe give it another chance. That
So
maybe I'm
we had a very long discussions inside,
yeah,
because I mean, like, people are very emotional to it because they have
yeah,
been playing long way. They were very emotional, and the way things are happening, right? See,
yeah.
so it's not one time. They made a joke out of it two times.
Mm-hmm.
So if we ask for another consideration, because committee, they don't want to look bad, they don't want to take back, and then they are making all these things. The moment I heard the jury decision is based on rule book, then it's a joke, and then there
Yeah.
is no minimum respect there. I mean, if they would have shown us some technical evidence or something that you guys, we found a foul play in your play, that's why we are awarding game to them,
Mm-hmm.
acceptable. And it's not just me, everybody, most of us were like very frustrated, very disappointed, and for what, the next day, what we have to go there, if this continues like this, right? And I mean, they come up with a new rule and they say you guys did not follow, and then let's ban them. Can somebody guarantee me that it will not happen?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep. True.
I mean, and many people were saying that Indus is not performing this year, that's why they may be thinking about withdrawing. No, I mean, when the first decision came itself, I told kind of my heart out to KK that KK, this is not fair. It was we were like well ahead in that time. We were like only like two lost in 5 games or something like that. Time itself, I told. And again, I mean, people were saying we may go into the Division Two, and I don't disrespect the sport. Division Two, they don't play kabaddi, they play cricket, right? If I go
Yep.
Division Two, I play cricket. I mean, it's just, for me, it's a fun sport. I cannot cope up with all these politics or whatever.
Yep.
So, and also many people. And Manoj, he flew the I think couple days earlier to that meeting. He went there, and then he was very disappointed. I mean, the way the jury was answering to him, and I mean, why? I mean, see, if they would have tell that the first time itself decision, this is something we cannot do anything, and then they made us believe, and then I had to go through too much of this back and forth, and I usually don't take too much emotional to it, but I took it to that heart, because it's not
Mm.
just me, maybe like one slight mistake of mine causing everybody's effort. I took the too personal, and then I was a little bit emotional. I usually don't take games emotional because it's a
Mhm.
fun to me. And
Yep.
then I spent my heart out in this one. I was like typing emails to committee. I was providing what evidences I could provide and all those things. And then Jagan calls me and say, we'll constitute a jury, and then you present your case, and then many things. And then I had a little hope that jury, that at least they come with a fresh mind, and they hear out the situation, and then they conclude with the whatever right thing has to be done. And then they come in saying that as per rule book. And then, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys tell me what we should still. I mean, we should play under this dictatorship.
I mean, it's hard to. I know it's hard to see through a lot of these things, and I'm hoping that some of these things get ironed out. I mean, a lot of things get discussed in off season, and the captains are absolutely a force to make these changes, and
Yeah.
and I think a lot of it also depends on who what kind of committee and rules that we constitute, because I feel a lot of times the individuals have certain things that they come up with which are biased already. So uh, but to be honest, I mean, considering where we are right now, I would basically consider this as a challenge for Indus. I mean, this might be a way to kind of motivate the team, and maybe this is a way for you guys to come through playoffs and win the championship. I mean, that will be a story, won't it? If you guys go all the way and win the championship.
I mean, see,
So
it's a
I would
team
think,
effort, right? Yeah.
yeah, I would
The,
want
prob-
to.
the,
Team.
pro- the problem here is, Parthiv, I think different people react differently. And I think as a skipper, I can understand what Dinesh is going through, in the sense that after I put in all that effort and things like that, I mean, I told you this before. I mean, if somebody is going to treat me unfairly, I think that's where I draw the line. And I say that, you know what, I should expect a fair treatment. And this is where I think the problem becomes, in the sense that what is right. And I mean, somehow I just feel that when you are having evidences shown that I think this is a case where you have Alagu saying one thing and Dinesh saying one thing, but you are providing the video evidence that the player was pointed out and things like that. Now,
And also umpire summary. I'm
yeah,
not sure if you.
yeah,
I think that's
I didn't see the summary.
Yeah,
I
no,
think Partha.
I
yeah,
just
yeah. I
sent it to
think that.
Parthiv. Maybe you can speak
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let me read out the umpire summary. I mean, that is something also very crucial, because a lot of times, most times, when there is when there is an issue between two teams, obviously we take the word of both the captains of what really happened, but ultimately it's up to the umpires call, because they are the ones that. So in this, it says, no worries. Here is the summary. Both teams had 12 players. Harsha was present from the beginning of the game. I was informed by Ravi about the inclusion of the 12th player, and he mentioned that the opponent was also informed. No objections were raised at any point, even when Harsha was actively fielding. I didn't look into the scorecard as clearly mentioned before the game starts. So clearly mentions that this umpire was informed. And as Dinesh mentioned, he was the only one present at the toss, right? So the other umpire came in late. So he was probably not even in the discussion at the beginning of the game. So if that's the case, if the umpire agrees, then I'm not sure as to why.
How you can
Uh,
go against your own empire, because you say
yeah,
that the empire is an extension of the committee.
correct. Because
And so
most times,
now you're saying your empire has no clue about anything. Then
right. So
why in the world is he the empire? Why do you say that he's an extension of the committee on game day? Because the committee can't be there at every ground. So we always say that the empire is an extension of the committee. Now I can understand why Vadnala would have come in favor of saying that no, you can't award the points like this.
So in the in the rule book, it's clearly mentioned that the umpire is an extension of the committee. I think that should be used as a quote to argue this point, that if that's true, then essentially we've got the umpires to agree that they were informed. So it shouldn't even go to the jury. I don't understand why it should even go to the jury. If the umpires have been informed and they agree to it, that's it. The case rests there.
The other thing is the DCL rule book, if you go and read it, doesn't say that you can't add a player on game day. Show me a place where it says that. You have to send the waiver and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, the waiver has been sent. Why can't you do it on game day? I don't understand why you can't do it on game day.
Yeah. So another thing was they're saying the waiver. He didn't sign the waiver. He signed after the game. I think Wednesday or something. So there is a fine for that. It's $50 if a player played without signing the waiver. That's a different topic altogether. Yeah. So I said, yeah. I mean, I accept that. There was like things happened that because of whatever personal issues I had, I couldn't do that. But he did it. But I'm okay to pay that $50 fine as per rule book. That.
Yeah.
So now, so this goes back to what KK had said on the last show, Parthiv, which is that, you can come up with many other solutions wherein you can fine Indus, not punish the whole team. If you want to punish the skipper by asking him to do some extra umpiring or, find a reason to, or monetary fine. I feel extra umpiring is better than monetary fine or any of those things, because we are always short of good umpires. So, you have to do one extra assignments. Do it. I mean, we're trying to improve the game, but I don't know. I mean, this whole thing leaves every one of us with a bad taste in our mouth, you see. And most of all, it affects the credibility of the whole thing.
Because I think the committee is punishing and looking at the not it's not about just that the player wasn't added. I think that's a very it's a small fine. I think what they're looking at is that somebody played on somebody else's name, and I don't know if that is actually the issue that they should be focusing on, because I think the issue became that way because he wasn't able to add. That's I think two different things that they should be seeing it, separating it out and seeing it. Because I don't think Indus wanted to play somebody on a different player's game. Like there was no intention of playing like Sachin Tendulkar under some other name and saying okay he can play. There's no way they were going to do. They were planning to do that. It's just that that player profile wasn't available, and that's why they weren't able to add. I think that's what the committee should be looking at.
Well, Dinesh, here is the thing. I mean, I do not know what will be the final decision which Indus takes. But I can understand whatever was sent to me by Indus players about taking it very personally and feeling very gutted that this has been done to them. I fully understand that. I cannot talk you or any of the Indus players out of anything. But I can only tell you what I feel and the Glad's team feels. We respect the hell out of you guys. And every time when we have played you guys, every time when we played you guys, yes, we want to win, but we want to win the right way. We want to win on the field. It's as simple as that. We'll come and give our best effort there, and we expect nothing but the best effort. And you did not win 3 championships by fluke. It was always done the right way. And all the old hands, the guys who have been there in the league for ages together, they all respect the Indus team. So just remember that. And whatever decision you take, I would be hurt. And I would feel very bad to see Indus go. That's just me as a person. I respect the hell out of Gopu and Abhi and, many of the other guys who have played. Manoj Singh, I feel, is one of the most fabulous players I have seen over the years. I've enjoyed your bowling from a distance, but it's just me as a player. We think the world of you guys and the way you have conducted yourself. And it would be a loss for the league, but there is no doubt about it. I personally wouldn't. I would feel that, some part of me is missing. So that's just how I feel. And I hope that even now, better sense can prevail, and that I think a bigger man will say that, what, I need to solve this, and I need to fix this, and I need, I need to find a right solution which will work for everybody. And that's what I was hoping will happen that somebody can be a peacemaker. And that's why I personally got involved and started talking to Jagan, because Jagan talks to a lot of people. So I thought, at least Jagan can somehow bring about some kind of a peace. But again, I was hoping that peace will happen with the jury. But it didn't go the way what happened. I don't know what to say other than we love you guys and we respect you guys. Thank you for everything which you have done.
So
over the
yeah,
years.
thank you guys. And I always, if whenever I get a chance, I watch your shows and all those things. I have a huge respect to Glad players. I play alongside with them, I play against them, and any team, right? I mean, there's no disrespect to the potential of the player, but I always respect every team, and it's there is nothing that a small team or big team, or we just come together, and it's a recreation to me, more than anything. And then I really don't care win or lose. If it's like hard spent hours, leaving our families back, and it's a difficult thing for everybody, coming out there and spending our heart there, and then at the end, if you don't get the least respect from from the committee, and I'm not personal against to anybody. It's all like one team against the kind of a constitution there, right? So I mean, we cannot go fight them. Only thing is, I mean, we have to save our self-respect, and it's I don't know. I mean, it's just not me. Team, I need to talk to everybody, and see what their thoughts are, and I mean, we had a mixed feelings about withdrawing or continuing. We still debating. We haven't concluded yet, but. I think we are going towards withdrawing. Is what the sense is what the
well,
in the team. But yeah, I mean
I,
it's
well,
I,
hard for me
I, I
to.
guess I guess that's the same thing which I got also in the text. Is that's pretty much
Yeah,
how the
well,
Indus team is
I would
feeling. But
say,
I do not know whatever happens. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead, Parthiv.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I just have two things which I want to say before, we end the show. Is one is I would love, people who are listening to our show. I'm sure a lot of Indus Thunders are listening to our show because Dinesh is here. I would request each and every one of you guys to think about it, because we want you guys in the league. So I know, it's hard to swallow some of the disrespect and, those bitter pill, but please think about it and reconsider, staying in the league and, playing, and, the season is still alive. So it's not like, it's done and dusted with. So think about it that. And secondly, I would want to, if a message can be passed to Stingers, you guys, if you guys can withdraw the appeal, this can go,
That is
completely.
that is the best thing which can happen,
Yeah,
because it will be
yeah,
a face-saving measure for the whole
yeah.
league, and they
And
would
yeah,
really do everybody of this thing, and
huge
then just
favor.
play a rematch. Just play a rematch. We are not even
Right.
asking you to this thing. Just
Yeah.
play a rematch and settle it out on the field.
Yes.
Whatever happens, happens. But that would be the best thing. I mean, that would be a statesman-like move. That would be a face-saving measure. We're giving you a way out, which I think, Parthiv, that's the same thing which I suggested to Jagan too. Play a rematch, let it get settled on the field. Okay, you know what? Whatever happened in the first game, let's just go back
Yeah.
and replay the game. I mean,
Right.
and then
That's exactly.
that
I
would be
mean, I would
this
say,
thing. But yeah,
I
I mean,
totally.
at this point, more than the committee, I think the person with the most power is Alagu. Let
Yes.
me be honest
I,
with you. Alagu has more power than anybody else in the league at this point.
correct. Because
Not even
I
the
think
committee.
that's
The committee, are probably saying, "Oh, well, our hands are tied." Well, I think
correct.
Alagu doesn't have to even worry about it and say, "You know what?
Correct.
Forget it, guys. Let's just go and
That's right.
play the regame and let's save
That's
the league." And at that
correct.
point, a lot of people will respect Alagu just for the fact that, you know what, he went above this thing and went above
Right.
the call of duty kind of a thing. But again, I think that we are again trying to suggest ways in which we can, go forward and find a solution. You get my point? To find a
Yep.
solution, sometimes we have to think outside the box.
Right. Exactly. And that's why I never said anything about, going back to the committee, because I don't think that's going to yield anything. I think the best solution for us to move forward, and as you mentioned, for clearing this up mess, Stingers can have a clean image. There won't be anything, because they're going to face a lot of backlash if these things go the way they are right now. They're going to face a lot of backlash. They're going to be probably the most hated team in
Yes.
DCL if
And you know
they
what? Here is the thing, Partha. If KRCC plays Stingers, people will support KRCC.
well, that's the name tag. That's the name tag you do not want. So Alagu, my friend, if you're hearing this, do the right thing. Take take the game on the field rather than off the field, and let's settle this in the right manner, man to man. So let's do that, and I hope in this you guys also think over. I'm not sure as to how things are going to plan out. If things get settled, I think that will be best for everyone. But there are things that you probably want to discuss before. I know it's hard, but uh, everyone would want you to be in the league and be part of it. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of supporters you have rather than people who do not back you guys. So there's more supporters you guys have.
Yeah, I think it would be nice if everybody could be just the bigger man and just do what is best for the league and extricate ourselves out of this tough situation that we find it, because all of us are going to be the losers if the present sequence of events, the way it is going, based on whatever text we are getting and the way Panditi has said that, which way the Indus team is leading, there's no good solution coming out of it. It's everybody, starting from the committee to all the teams, have lost. Simple as that.
All right.
Thank you again. Thanks for all the love. And I have been talking to other people. They were like supporting, and thanks for all the tons of love towards us. We really wanted to be in the league, and we never wanted to end this one, because we had these kind of things before also. We continued playing, and we never wanted to leave. But I think based on the situation inside the team, so this is the option in front of us right now. But I don't know. We haven't officially made any statement, but we had a discussion hours together, and we don't know what we come up with. But again, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for all the love, everybody. Thanks again. I really appreciate your time and efforts. It's already too late, but having me at the late, and it's almost, I think, hour or so, right? Thanks again. I mean, whoever is watching this, and all the good things about us and good support for us, and thank you so much. I cannot express. I don't find any words to express, but thanks again.
Thank you, Dinesh, for coming on the show. And
thank you. Finally, I always see you on videos, but finally I had a chance to talk.
This is the first conversation we are having. Yes, but I always respected you as a player, phenomenal bowler and outstanding all-rounder. But thank you for coming on the show. I'll continue watching wherever you play, especially if we play against Glads. We'll always cherish that moment.
And in the DCL against the Glads was my first big game. It was in 2016. I think it was in Woodhaven or somewhere. Okay. It was like very tight. It was very close game. That time you used to write a blogs, right? I didn't even know what I was saying, and then I used to read after that. And I think you used to watch me when we were playing Panthers. I had a cousin Bharat. I used to read all your stories that time and all. You need a lot of passion and patience to do all those things. I really respect, and I have a huge respect to you. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do that. It's like I really wonder, like, how do you get all this time to do? It's like amazing. I really appreciate
no, Dinesh, I enjoy it. Actually, I have not slept all night. Believe it or not, I have not slept all night. It's only after the show I go and sleep. So it does take this thing, but nothing happens in a vacuum. But I understand your passion, and I understand Parthiv's passion. And if Parthiv was not there, the last couple of weeks we couldn't do a show because alone we can't do a show. I need at least somebody with me to do a show, kind of a thing.
Sure.
But one of us goes sick, it becomes difficult, kind of a thing. But thank you for all that you do.
And one more major thing, thanks for doing this show. I think it got a big traction among the fraternity here, and many people follow it. And after this show, people discuss, what you guys talk about in the show.
Yeah, I know. I
Meet
have a
people,
lot.
right?
I have a lot of haters too.
No, that's how,
See,
if I find
sometimes when you speak your mind, you'll have a lot of haters, and so, but that's part of the territory kind of a thing. You see.
yeah, that's how I watch most of your show. Somebody tells like interesting things, and then they talk like 5-10 minutes about what Viju talked about it and what KK talked about it, and then I go and watch the video, and it's like
Okay.
all over, in the
All
drive.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for doing
Thanks for the
these
support. All
good
right.
shows. Yeah,
All right.
All right.
always. Thank you,
All
All
guys.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
Okay.
good
Dinesh.
one,
Thank
Viju, and good night, guys. Here.
Good night,
Good
guys.
night.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Parthiv, you
Bye.
have any last words?
No, I think that was great having Dinesh and hearing him. I think we went overtime, well overtime, an hour, but I think this
Yeah.
was great to hear. I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of people, I was looking at our YouTube, a lot of people were watching it live. So I'm pretty sure there was a lot of Indus clan who was wanting to see what Dinesh had to say and how we reacted. Uh, and I'm hoping that this word gets out and gets more traction, and maybe through that, put the pressure on the committee and maybe in Alagu to do the right thing. So if that
Yeah, I
helps, I
think,
think.
Parthiv, I
Yeah,
think the thing which is going to happen now is, most people had not heard the Indus side of the story.
yeah,
Now the Indus side of the story is publicly available, and
yep,
people can go and actually listen to
hmm,
it and make up their own mind. You don't have to listen to what Parthiv says or what Viju says or what KK says. At the end of the
right,
day, you can listen to the horse right out of his mouth, and you can make up your own this thing. And I think Pandeti came across as a genuine guy who told
yep,
who poured his heart out. You get my point? Now you have to be blind as a bat not to see that. Now,
right,
how you process that information is completely up to you. What this does is everybody now got an opportunity to to hear the truth as at
hmm,
least from the Indus side of it. We didn't hear the Stinger side of it, but we heard the Indus side of it. And you can make up your own this thing as to what really happened, what is the right thing. And at the end of the day, all of us are saying the same thing. Try to find some sort of a solution which will not take the shine away from the league, and
hmm,
keep the focus on the ground. And I think this is also an important lesson for every committee, not just this committee,
yeah,
but all future committees. Don't
yep,
ever get involved into a
yeah,
decision making this thing which will change the result of whatever happened on the field, kind of a thing.
correct, correct. Absolutely. I think it's definitely a lesson.
Unless there is obvious fraud. When it is
Yeah,
obvious fraud, that's a different issue.
correct. Yeah.
But there is no obvious fraud here.
I've mentioned that multiple times. Yes, if it's an obvious fraud which impacts the results, then it's every means in the right decision to award the team the points. But here, I still don't see an obvious fraud and intent. Anything that tells me that there was deliberate manipulation of the rules. This was a step in the process that was missed because of whatever reason, and that too is debatable because from what the screenshots that Dinesh has sent,
But
like,
after reading
yeah,
after you read the Empire's report, I
correct.
mean, that is
It doesn't look like.
I mean, how in the world can you go against what the Empire has reported?
Correct. So that also is debatable. So all the things point towards that there isn't an issue in the first place that needs to be addressed, and secondly, the penalty or the verdict given is very harsh. So that's my conclusion that just needs to be deliberated again in terms of the verdict and the issue at what the issue really is. So I know we are up to the show. I hope that this show, through this show, Indus is able to, or there is some traction within the community to oppose this decision or do the right thing. If this video is able to do that, I think we would consider ourselves very very successful in saving the brand DCL. So if that's possible, if people are hearing and if people have the authority as a captain to put in the right word or in the captain's group, they should do that. They should basically
Fine,
put up support.
Yeah, finally, Parthav, you and I are jointly requesting Alagu to
Yes.
please do the right thing and save the league and do whatever it takes to right this wrong, because we are at
Yeah.
an impasse where the person who has the greatest power right now is Alagu, and if Alagu can just withdraw the complaint, this whole thing just disappears,
Disappears.
and he can have whatever empires we want, and we can replay the game or whatever it is, whatever
Yep.
this thing to set this right. And I don't think Indus will have any problem replaying the game at a time and place of the Alagu's choosing, kind of a thing. So, we can try to get the best grounds or whatever it is. But after all these years, let's not spoil the brand. Simple
Correct.
as that.
Absolutely. All right, Viju, that's
All right,
all
sounds
we've got
good.
today.
Hey, thank you, Parthav. You did a fabulous job.
Yep.
Congrats. All right.
All right.